Welcome everyone to Bowling Green, Ohio. You're watching college football on ESPNU. It's a Wednesday night, November. Time for some action. The Battle of I-75 as Toledo travels 25 miles south on the highway to face rival Bowling Green. So many questions remain in the MAC as you look at the standings in the West. Toledo controls its own fate. If they win tonight and next week at Western Michigan, they clinch the division and a trip to Detroit for the MAC championship game, something they haven't done in 13 years. In the East, Bowling Green in the middle of the pack and hoping to duplicate what we saw last night in this division. That is an upset. Akron knocking off Ohio 37-34 in a wild one. Hello there, welcome to the booth. Kevin Nagandi here alongside Rocky Boyman, and I can't wait for tonight because we get the chance to look at the best quarterback in the conference. That is Logan Woodside.
Truly special guy, Kevin, and you talk about every quarterback list, he's on it. Davey O'Brien, Maxwell, Unitas, Manning, just a special career this guy has had. 5th year in this system. He knows it inside out, backwards, forward. He's just been tremendously productive over the course of his career. Really good at the deep ball. 20 touchdowns on the year, Kevin, only 2 picks. So he got the deep ball, he got the accuracy. He's tough in that pocket as well. He gets it done for Toledo.
He takes so many hits as well, and he comes right back up. That is the identity of the team. And also the long ball, finding the guy, and that is Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, he's had a really breakout season. Cody Thompson, one of their best wide receivers, went down for the season. You need your guys to step up, right? That's what they always say. Number 3. Big time this year.
All right, now we've heard about all the turnover chain at Miami. I understand that. Bowling Green, though, they got a belt here as well.
It's not the takeaway belt, and they take it away from the opposing team 23 times this year. They want to be passing this belt around a lot on that defense and that to give your team a chance.
That number is 5th best in the country. This Bowling Green team is very active as they lead the conference, and they are number 1 in forced fumbles, and they have to do that, as you mentioned, create turnovers to kind of set the offense up here.
Absolutely, and they got a productive offense. They're young, right? Got a very productive young freshman quarterback in Jared Dagey, and then a running back, true freshman as well, Andrew Clare. They've kind of discovered these guys over the last couple weeks here, and we'll see how they do tonight.
Mike Jenks in his 2nd season coming over from Texas Tech, and he loves what he has in that freshman quarterback in Dagey, as well as that freshman running back in Clare. We're going to see a lot of Clare tonight with the touches as he continues to feel more comfortable in the system.
Yeah, Coach Jenks told us yesterday, he said, hey, last week we want to see what we can do. We gave him more, right? He had 18 carries. So he may get 20, 25 here tonight.
On the other side, Jason Candle has 18 wins in less than 2 seasons, taken over when Matt Campbell left for Iowa State. And Candle has the Mountain Union pedigree, where he won 6 national championships as a player and assistant coach. He'll certainly be a hot name among coaching circles this offseason.
Yeah, he really will. And you look, he said he still talks to Matt Campbell every week, right? They've been teammates in the past, obviously coached together, and on a similar path, I would say.
The 82nd meeting of the Battle of I-75 is just moments away with kickoff, and nice crowd here. Again, this is a rivalry game, and they're separated by just 25 miles, so a strong contingent from Toledo coming out here to support the Rockets.
Yep.
And when you look at the weather here, that could play a factor tonight.
No question. Look, we were on the field before the game. That wind really whipping around here. But you mentioned these 2 teams, they're used to this, right? It's Ohio. I'm from Ohio. I know what the weather's like. These 2 teams, only 25 miles of distance between the part here. And Toledo's got the best of Bowling Green the last couple times here, but no question, the Battle of I-75, a big rivalry.
Rockets have won the last 7 meetings. The series, though, still favoring Bowling Green 39-38-4. They got a trophy as well, the Battle of I-75. That's on the line, established in 2011, handed out in 2012. Toledo has never relinquished that trophy. So a big night here for the Falcons, not only just pulling off the upset, but the idea that they can keep the trophy here for the first time in this series. As Bowling Green wins the toss, they defer, and the Rockets will get the ball first. And we'll see how Woodside handles the conditions. I know our graphic said 14 miles per hour with that wind. It felt like we were in the 20s there when we were on the field.
Well, that's the thing, is that you felt it. It gusts, right? You're sitting there and nothing's happening. All of a sudden, boom, that wind really whips up. So a guy on Logan Woodside who likes to throw the ball all over the park, we'll see if that's a factor here early.
We are moments away from kickoff here. And it looks like actually the Falcons will receive. Yeah, so Toledo, wins the toss, and they defer. So Bowling Green, with their young freshman quarterback, they will receive to start this game off. Set to kick off is Jamison Vest. And we're going to mention the freshmen here, especially at the playmaking position all night long when talking about Bowling Green. Matthew Wilcox will set to receive from his 6. And here we go. He'll get to the 25-yard line for this Falcons offense. And it's our first chance to take a look at Jared Dagey. And we talked to the coaches earlier today. His only offer in the FBS was Bowling Green.
About that, yeah. So he has a lot to prove. He's from Lubbock, Texas, kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, out in West Texas. Got a little bit of a diamond in the rough. And I love what Mike Jinks told us yesterday when we met with him. He said, look, last week, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 65% completion. He said, I want to see if this is for real. Was that just a one-time flash in the pan thing, or can Dagey produce that same results here tonight?
Dagey handing off to Cleveland to the right side. And Cleveland's going to pick up some positive yards. Cleveland, that senior from Austin, Texas, junior college transfer, and he's brought some stability to the backfield.
Bowling Green, Mike Jinks, he's from Texas Tech, so you see some of that air raid philosophy, like to throw the ball around. I'd say the difference between them, again, especially the last couple weeks, is they've added the run element. Andrew Clare, we just saw Josh Cleveland run the ball as well. Cleveland
a pickup of 5 yards, so it's 2nd down. It's a quick pass. They're going to get a 1st down. Scott Miller with the grab.
Scott Miller, 10 catches last week, and already 2 plays in the game. He has another one. He's fired up there, Kevin.
Leads the team in catches, coming off the best game of his career. So a 1st down here for the Falcons. Cleveland will get the ball, going to the left side, trying to break off 1 tackle, but he's taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Zach Quinn with the stop.
Yeah, this Toledo defense last week, Ohio ran the ball all over him, 393 yards. So you know it was talked about this week, stopping the run. We'll see the defensive end doing a good job forming the edge, not letting the running back bounce outside. That's a tough play.
So a 2nd and long, we'll get our first look at the other freshman in that backfield, Andrew Clare. Clare will get the ball, and he's hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down immediately.
Andrew Clare, he had 3 straight 100-yard games going back a couple weeks ago. Last week versus Buffalo, just 85, but he's a special guy. I mean, we talked to Jinks, we talked to this whole staff yesterday. They really like the potential of number 32.
3rd and long, their first 3rd and long on the night here for the Falcons offense, and Jared Dagey in shotgun with Clare in the backfield. Dagey has some time, going across the middle. And they're looking for a flag, and they're going to get it. Intended for Scott Miller. A little hesitation on that flag, but it's pass interference.
Came all the way from the back, Judge, way back there.
Number 8, 15-yard penalty. 1st and 10.
Josh Teachy is flagged on the play. So it's going to keep this drive alive for the Falcons.
Spot foul.
And there is number 3 in the slot there. Been making a living this season across the middle, making those tough catches right in traffic. Just a little bit handsy there.
Falcons offense still on the field, and they get a 1st down here on their opening drive. We've seen this with Toledo, too. They commit a ton of penalties for a team that's 8-2. That's a surprise.
Yeah, usually you don't see that, and, you like to think a very disciplined team, but those penalties seem to come at the wrong times.
Clare in the backfield. 1st down, he'll get the ball left side. Oh no, there he goes, the freshman to the house. Touchdown, Falcons. 52 yards for number 32.
Down.
That flag's coming on Tio Redding, outstanding wide receiver, so no touchdown, but there's that holding.
Yeah, there was with the wide receiver Redding, but we saw a couple plays ago, Toledo did a good job of holding the edge. That time, you see the quickness of Andrew Clare. He needs just a little bit of room, good little sidestep, takes it to the house, but it'll come back because of the flag.
So 52-yard touchdown run by the freshman who just turned 18 years young, taken off the board.
18 years old. God, how about that? Playing college football. Really broke out the last couple weeks. Tremendous future.
So it's 1st and 15 here. It's a spot foul with that holding. Falcons offense featuring Cleveland in the backfield, flanking Dagey. Across the middle. And that'll fall. Intended for Redding, but Redding drops it. Trayvon Mathis on the coverage.
Taylor Redding, I would say he's their most explosive option on offense. 6'2", 175, just a super athlete. But here we saw earlier with the hold, and you see when that separation, that defender starts to pull away, you gotta let the hands go. He doesn't. And it was a major penalty. Would have been a great opening drive here for Bowling Green.
2nd and 15 for the Falcons. Cleveland in the backfield. Dagey has some time, left side. Incomplete, and a late flag there as well. It's that one-on-one matchup. Seeing Derek Punavong matched up against Trayvon Mathis.
See, I mean, you always wonder, you know, when the flag comes out when the DB doesn't get his eyes turned back around to the quarterback in time. I wonder if that's what they're discussing here.
There are 2 fouls, 1 live ball, 1 dead ball. Pass interference, defense, number 15. That's a 15-yard penalty. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 71, offense. The down counts. The ball will be returned after the 15-yard penalty to the previous spot.
So the explanation there, of course.
That's the first unsportsmanlike conduct on number 71.
Jason Kendall trying to understand what's going on. The call on 71 is Tim McCullough for Bowling Green. Tyson Anderson committed the pass interference.
Jumped out there and saw McCullough do, but
motion's running high for the young man McCullough, 5th-year senior on senior night, obviously, and getting the start here. Wants to make an impression. You got to bottle that up here early on in this game. So 1st and 10 now for the Falcons. Dagey looking to the sidelines. Gets the call, he makes it at the line. Fake, Dagey across the middle. It's a completion, and there he goes. Redemption for Redding. Touchdown, Falcons. And no flags this time around for Bowling Green.
what a fantastic read by Dagey there. He sees there is no safety in the middle of the field, so why not throw the ball to the slant, coming in there, bang. Hits it, and then Theo Redding does the rest. You see the athleticism, you see the speed. And what a great job by Bowling Green bouncing back. They had a touchdown, it gets called back, they get a personal foul, but they hung in there. They got 6 points.
57 yards on the completion for Redding, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Falcons, they came to play their offense early on.
It's the match, man. You never know. Week in, week out. So it makes this conference great.
Extra point coming your way. And it's good. Jake Suter. Theo Redding called for a holding penalty, so they had to take a 52-yard run back. So what does he do? He redeems himself and goes to the house. 57 yards, the Falcons on the board first. All smiles on senior night for the 5th-year senior from Warren, Michigan. Capping off a 7-play, 74-yard drive, a 57-yard touchdown catch in 2.5 minutes as Bowling Green is on the board first. And this young man, we're going to be talking about him all night long. He's got some hops, man.
He does. He had an amazing catch last week at Buffalo, jumped out of the stadium. And talk about jumping, how about what the offensive coordinator told us yesterday?
Kevin Kilmer stands at 5'11", and in practice, T.O. went straight at him, jumped over him.
Just jumped over him. Jumped over a grown man. How about that?
Kilmer was standing straight up and not expecting it.
I mean, what do you do when a guy just is standing there, runs up to you, and jumps over top of you?
You pray, right? You pray. Touchback there for the Rockets, so they'll get the ball led by their fantastic quarterback in Logan Woodside, who leads the MAC in passing yards, efficiency, and total offense.
Yeah, he's truly special. It's been a joy watching him last year, this year. Knows the playbook, knows the offense, knows where it's supposed to go. I mean, look, this is the most balanced, explosive offense in the MAC, and they use all parts of the field. They use deep, intermediate, short. They run the ball. Really prolific offense.
Here come the Rockets, their first time offensively on the field with Woodside. Early handoff, left side. We've got a first down. Terry Swanson on the field. That's a good sign for the Rockets, as he couldn't finish last week's game with an ankle injury, but he brings that experience in that backfield.
It's a good sign too, Kevin, because last week versus Ohio, they had just 53 yards rushing. Swanson just 6 carries for 9 yards. So to finally get that early on here, get that run game going, great for Toledo.
Swanson had to leave in the first half of that contest. Then the Rockets, in their first play, they move the football first down, and they continue to run the ball. Swanson through the tackles, another first down.
You can tell early on the theme this week is, look, we got a run game shut down last week, boys. We got to get that thing cranking here tonight. We talked about the wind, the weather inside this stadium. Nice to get some balance, starting off great with the run.
Swanson over 3,000 rushing yards in his career, 7th on the school's all-time list. And here come the Rockets. Another carry to the right side, going behind a couple blockers. Some positive yards for the Rockets. Led by Swanson, and we got more laundry on the field. That came on the backside.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. His first, number 8, defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
So Konowalski, the defensive end, a little toss at the end here, Kevin, I think is what I saw. And they're tussling, they're going, and always comes in with the guy who the guy who achieves last there.
Yeah, and if you do it right in front of the guys in stripes, you're going to get caught quickly,
right?
right?
To do it. That's exactly right.
So the Rockets moving this ball with efficiency on a couple of big runs, and then that big penalty. Swanson in the backfield. He'll get the carry once again through the heart of the defense, and another first down.
So we've talked about how great Logan Woodside is throwing the ball around, right over 10,000 career yards. They haven't thrown a pass yet. They're getting it done on the ground.
An offensive line creating some holes here, holes that I think you and I can go through and maybe gain 50 yards, depending on your speed, Rob.
It's not what it used to be.
Swanson spinning off, going to the left side. That's an 8-yard gain. Marcus Milton bringing him down and saving a touchdown.
This is amazing, because last week Terry Swanson's been nursing an ankle, didn't play much last week. And, talked about it, he had breakfast this morning, he's walking around, didn't know how he was going to come out. Looks really, really good here tonight to start this game.
Running with patience here, and they're in the red zone. Swanson's going to take a break. Shaquille Seymour in the backfield make that with Woodside. And they're going to run the football again. Deontay Johnson to the left side. They're inside the 5-yard line, and that's an interesting play call. Get your great playmaker inside the 10-yard line of the football.
Get him the football. It's one of the most frustrating things I see in football, Kevin. When I see offenses, they try to get too much about scheme and this and that. Get the ball into the hands of your best playmakers. Jason Cannell knows that.
First and goal. Here come the Rockets, moving this football at will without a pass. Woodside The handoff left side, and it's Seymour. Touchdown, Toledo. This is old school football here, Rob.
That's right. Might as well be snow on their ground. They're trying to mimic Ohio, right? The way they run the football. Try to take some lessons from them last week, but again, tremendous job. Shut down last week. You know they wanted to come in and establish that thing. They're thinking, not only just tonight, they have a chance in their own destiny here to win the MAC West. Get it done on the ground.
And the extra point attempt, Jamison West. Best make that. It's good. So we got some points here, 5.5 minutes into the game. Maction living up to the billing. Swanson 52 yards on this drive, capped off by Seymour in the end zone. We got a tie game from Bowling Green.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sam Adams, Fill Your Glass, and Allstate, official protector of college football fans.
Senior night at the Doyd as they honored 20 Falcons. Emotions running high for Bowling Green. Rock, what's that like, senior night, that special moment where you share it with your family?
It truly is special, Kevin. I went through it, obviously, at Notre Dame. It's just cool. Every college athlete, there's ups and downs, right? During the course of your college career, tough times, good times, and to kind of on senior night, you reflect on those a little bit. You get to see your parents, the folks that are there that helped you all along the way. Just a really special moment.
Here come the Rockets, set the kickoff. We are tied at 7 apiece. It's going to go out of bounds. Oh. That is not good, and well, not for the Rockets. That favors the Falcons here. ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. I know it's helpful for us on Saturdays. You're on the road covering games. Yep. I'm in studio. We got all these games going on, and we always have that app with us.
I got to tell you, last week I had Purdue at Northwestern. I was checking the app for that Notre Dame score, and I thought the app was broke. Surely Miami could not have been putting it on Notre Dame like that, but turned out it was true. Turned out it was true.
You're not going to escape that conversation later on today, Rocky. We're going to talk about what we saw in South Florida. But right. I'm glad you didn't duck it. You brought it up, right? Last time we saw this offense, the Falcons went on a 7-play, 74-yard drive. The Rockets respond with their own 7-play, 75-yard drive. They're going to go to the air, and that's an incomplete pass on first down. Intended for Janarvis Pugh.
It looked like Pugh was blocking on a run play there, and Nagy threw the pass over his head there.
Now the U is back. You're going to hear that a lot, Saturday at noon. I'm kind of curious to see where the intensity is at noon on ABC against Virginia, considering what we saw the last 2 weekends in prime time. You feel that vibe against a Virginia Tech and a Notre Dame. What's it going to be like in that stadium against Virginia with that young team? Yeah, that game at noon.
Yeah. That'll be huge.
Player taken down in the backfield, and we see a flag coming in the backfield. Jawan Woodley on the tackle, and it's going to be on the Falcons, that penalty.
Holding, number 64 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot. Repeat, second down.
Call on Austin Labus. When you look at this offensive line, I know that could be the story in many college football programs, but they went through 2 weeks where they lost 4 offensive linemen. The Falcons are just doing patchwork right now in mid-November.
Yeah, fitting guys in here. And here's the thing with Bowling Green. You got 2 games left. You're not in contention for anything postseason. You don't want to start burning red shirts of freshmen, right? So they're kind of, Mike Jinks told us yesterday, if it gets down to it, they may have to put some D linemen out there to play O-line.
Right now, Daggy going to the outside, the little screen to Claire. Claire hit a couple times. He'll make a couple guys miss, but when there's 5 guys around you, it's tough.
Nice job of swarming by that Toledo defense, getting the perimeter.
Tyler Tate was the first guy there. That's the key. When you got a guy like Claire, stop him first, then you're going to get help, right?
That's right. Yeah, the first guy's at least got to hold him up and keep him from breaking off that initial contact, and then here comes the cavalry. But that's the thing about college football anymore. I mean, football in general, with the way the spread is, it makes you tackle one-on-one. So when you can get a lot of guys in the ball, works out well.
3rd and 22. They'll go to the ground. It's Claire again. Claire picking up positive yards. Just going to be about 8 yards short of that first down, but at least some breathing room when they come out here on 4th down to punt the ball.
This is the 2nd straight time Toledo's not held the edge on the right side of their defense. That time the defensive end of Daney went down inside, and Claire, he was very aware of it, bounced to the outside, just short though.
Coming out the punt here for the Falcons, Joseph Davidson, one of the best punters in the country, a Ray Guy finalist a year ago, expected to do the same thing this season. 6th in the country in net average. 6'7", by the way. Booming kick. And that's a perfect bounce, a Bowling Green bounce inside the 5-yard line. 58 yards there from Davidson, who, by the way, is a double major in math and finance. His GPA 3.94.
Double major 3.94. Good for him. That's great. Talk about a 6'7" frame, long leg, get some drive on that ball.
You know, the benefit, too, we talked about this early in the broadcast, that wind is also favoring Bowling Green,
right
at least in this first quarter.
Absolutely. Now, we got to see a pass at some point, right? Logan Woodside putting up all these passing numbers so far. Toledo's just put it on the ground.
That last drive, their opening drive, 7 plays, all on the ground. So we'll see what we get from number 11 on this series. And it's going to be on the ground once again. Terry Swanson, left side. Swanson really the storyline in the last drive. 52 yards to the 75.
Came in a little bit banged up, but he looks really healthy, looks nimble, getting to that second level, making guys miss. I like the commitment to the ground game. You know, Toledo, they put up all these crazy passing numbers, so you think that's all they can do, but to see them really do this well, it's a good sign for them.
Seymour capping that drive with that touchdown, that short run, and here we go with the Rockets and their offense. 2nd and 6. Another handoff. Left side, it's Swanson. That's another first down. Hey, if it works, partner, just keep on going,
keep on going. Yeah, hey, that's what it comes down to. Offense is all about, we're going to keep doing this until somebody stops. It's up to Bowling Green right now to somehow, look, if you got to bring an extra guy in the box, if I were them, I'd start slanting that defensive line a little bit. They're a little undersized. Try to cancel out some of those interior run gaps. You cannot just allow the ball to get run down your throat like that.
First down for the Rockets and Woodside, as well as Swanson in that backfield. We're going to get a pass here. Woodside, plenty of time across the middle to his big tight end, Drew Rossi, and that's a first down.
And Kevin, you see where that ball was? It was on the money, and that's the biggest thing that stands out about Logan Woodside when I watch him. Every ball he throws seems to be right there where the wide receiver can easily catch. It's not over his head. It's not way down here. Puts it right on the money. Allows his receivers, give him a chance. It's a nice throw over the middle.
Rossi's just his 4th catch all season. First drop back pass tonight there from Woodside, 15 yards and a first down for the Rockets. They'll go to the ground once again. Swanson. He's a patient runner. That's what I've seen so far in this game.
He really is. They run that inside, that midline zone. He just kind of hides back there behind the lineman a little bit, picks his hole.
Is this a setup before we start to see some big playmaking ability from number 3?
It's only a matter of time for number 3 gets going here. Maybe even be on this play here as you go run, run, run. You get that defense start to collapse down, get some single coverage on the outside like we're seeing. He may find 3 here.
We'll see if Deontay Johnson's number gets called here as Woodside on 2nd and 7. Look at the pass across the middle. And that's another first down here for the Rockets. It's the other Johnson, John Vay Johnson, moving the chains.
John Vay Johnson, nice season last year. He's keeping it going this year. At 420 yards coming into this game, 3 touchdowns, another very capable weapon.
So Woodside, a couple of passes across the middle. both for first downs. And Swanson in the backfield. They'll go to the ground again. Swanson left side. That's a first down and taken down in Bowling Green territory.
They're sitting back, they're playing too deep. At some point, you got to go to a cover 3. You got to bring the extra safety down the box. They don't want to do that because Toledo is so good at throwing the ball, but you can't just allow this to keep happening, Kevin. You got to get that extra guy up in the box. Man for man, Bowling Green doesn't have the guys that can get that done.
Dozen yards on the carry. Inside 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Here comes the Rockets offense, moving this football consistently on the ground.
Here comes that safety down the box here. See number 4, Garth.
Woodside again, the handoff, and it's Swanson.
You can find a little bit of movement by that Bowling Green defensive line to try to cancel out some of those interior run gaps.
Rockets are 11th in the nation in total offense, 7th in passing efficiency, but it's their run game so far that has dictated the flow of this game. Swanson will take a break, and here is Shaquille Seymour, who scored the first touchdown for the Rockets. Little fake across the middle. It's a completion again, and there is Deontay Johnson signaling the first down. You're shaking your head, Rocky.
It's because it's what I've watched all week on film, Kevin. The quarterback Woodside, he drops back, throws the ball well over the middle. He's not just dinking and dunking this ball, 2-3 yards, that sort of deal. Again, right on the money, right where that receiver can catch it in stride, doesn't have to hesitate, and can get a few more yards after the catch.
24 yards on that connection. They're in the red zone. Handoff left side to Desmond Phillips. Sophomore from Miami, Florida. Just his second carry on the season. Nico Lautman with the stop.
At some point here, Bowling Green's got to start bringing some pressure on the quarterback as well. You watch the Ohio tape from last week. Ohio brought a lot of linebacker blitzes right in the face of Woodside. You got to find a way to affect him.
Woodside on 2nd and 11. Rolling out to the right side and finding Seymour inside the 5. So far on this, what we've seen from the Rockets offense, 13 carries, 4 passes in the air.
And this Bowling Green defense looks just completely out of whack right now. They don't know what's coming. You're thinking it's going to be a run. They pass. When you drop back for the pass, they keep running the ball in that inside zone. It's just a really good job of balance right now by Toledo.
1st and goal here for the Rockets, and Seymour remains in the backfield. Seymour scored the first touchdown. Ooh, stopped and keeping his legs moving, but he'll fall just short of the goal line. Brandon Harris with that stop. You're big on Harris so far. What
love watching him. Yeah, he's their best defensive player. Just a junior, so he'll have another year here. They're going to go hurry up.
It's Seymour again. Hit at the line, falling forward. It's a touchdown for Toledo. Seymour's 2nd touchdown of the night. The Rockets and their offense, they take their first lead. How about a 12-play, 95-yard drive?
That's why they're one of the best offense in the MAC, Kevin. Logan Woodside making great decisions with the football, getting them into the best play, handing it when he should hand it, pulling it back, and throwing the ball downfield. When that's there, just a fantastic job.
And the extra point is good. So Shaquille Seymour, fantastic. 6 touchdowns coming into the game. He has 2 on the night. Redshirt freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, leading this offense on the ground into the end zone. Fresh off their domination of Notre Dame. You okay if I say that?
Go ahead.
Undefeated, number 3 Miami, home again at Hard Rock Stadium to take on Virginia. The Canes sights set on the college football playoff. You got that game Saturday at noon Eastern on ABC, also streaming live on the ESPN app. That turnover chain getting a lot of
passed
love.
around. Was it 16 in the
16
last 4
in the
games?
last 4.
Oh, I know they had 4 last week. Counted every bloody one of them.
Yeah, that environment, a Hard Rock Cafe, the way that environment was, it was the perfect setting. I missed the Orange Bowl, but it was a perfect setting for that team. Matthew Wilcox set to return here for the Falcons. Hit hard at the 20 and stopped. The Rockets have their first lead of the game here, 14-7. And, you know, the Rockets are familiar with the U. Back in September, second game of the season, of course, the U dealing with some stuff early on with the Hurricanes, the Mark Rick squad. I was really impressed with what we saw from Logan Woodside.
Absolutely. He had 3 touchdown passes in that game, and Toledo might have given Miami one of the better games they've had this season. In it all the way there to the end there. Final score got away from there toward the end, but put up quite a fight.
They will re-kick.
Rocky, they were up 16-10 at the half. And you take a look at the total offense, 429 total offense from the Rockets. You put up 30 points on that team, right? What stood out is how they converted too on third down. So 13 for 23.
And that's getting it done.
I understand it's early in the season, but maybe that's the best offensive performance we've seen against the U all season long.
No, exactly right there. You have a veteran quarterback, and Logan Woodside comes in, goes down there, and really does a great job versus that defense. You know, and Miami early on, of course, was getting a lot of, you know, close wins, just kind of narrow escapes there, and that was, again, was one of them until late in the game. Kind of got away from Toledo, but the Rockets went down there and did a good job.
I'm going to get your thoughts a little bit later on here tonight about your college football playoff rankings. I know you disagree a little bit with the committee, but it's one of those debatable things I think that you can have there when you look at number 2 and number 3 and then the placement of the 4th team so far in the playoff. So they're going to re-kick once again here as there was offsides, and here we go. Matthew Wilcox out of bounds.
Second time.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin, this is the most inexcusable penalty in all of football. You can't do it. There's just no excuse for it, especially twice.
Free kick out of bounds. Number 37, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10.
Here's the wild thing. That was Jamison Best. He hasn't had an out-of-bounds all season. That's his second one on the night.
Yeah.
My goodness. College Football Playoff Rankings sponsored by Northwestern Mutual. Here they are. And Alabama number 1. Not a surprise. It's Clemson jumping to 2, Miami at 3, and Oklahoma at 4.
Yeah, mine's a little different. Most of the same teams, just a little bit different order, and I got some reasons why I did that. But you know, the committee clearly very high on Clemson. They think they really like that win versus Auburn earlier in the season.
Clemson surviving against Florida State the last time we saw them out. Again, their only loss because, you know, Kelly Bryant was injured at Syracuse, coached by Dino Babers. And this audience, of course, fully aware of Dino.
They called it Falcon Fast when he was here with that high-speed, up-tempo offense.
Scott Miller getting that first down catch here, 14 yards, and the Falcons trying to respond. The true freshman Daggy at quarterback, pitch to the outside to Josh Cleveland. He'll make the first guy miss and pick up about 4.
And one of the things tonight for Daggy, again, he had a lot of success last week. I think it's important that he doesn't try to do too much out there. There's a rivalry game, battle for I-75, right? Team's doing well, but just a freshman, sometimes there's that, you know, desire to, hey, I can maybe fit that ball in that tight window, or hey, I can maybe try to make a play here. That causes turnovers. So you got to keep doing a good job leading this offense, but not try to do too much.
Daggy with the keeper looked like he was going to pitch it to the left side, and he changed his mind. Crowd wanting a late hit there, but they're not going to get it. We've seen plenty of penalties so far in this first half. Make that first quarter as we approach 30 seconds to go here in the first. Third and 6 here for the Falcons and their offense, trailing by 7. Claire in the backfield. The fake there, they're gonna go with the little pitch there, the big tight end. And that is Leonard Scatabo.
Big boy, 265 pounds. little H-back there on that ball, and I think Toledo was thinking they were going to go down the sideline there to T.O. Redding.
That's the end of the quarter.
11 yards, that's a first down for the senior Scatabo, celebrating senior night here. We got a good one so far in Bowling Green, 21 points in the first quarter. Yeah, that's what we call action. What do we have in store in the second quarter? Find out in the battle I-75 after this. Back to the Doit. We got a good one so far as we start the second quarter. Bowling Green driving, and they trail 14-7 against Toledo in the battle of I-75. Just 25 miles separate these two schools, and there's kids on both sides. They know each other. They hang out. They go to the same mall. You got to go to Toledo to go to the mall.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They see each other a lot.
So an emotional game here, senior night for Bowling Green and the Falcons. Cleveland in the backfield. Daggy, the short pass to T.O. Redding. Second and about 7 yards.
Keep feeding T.O. Redding. And T.O. Redding's interesting. He's kind of a guy, he's a fifth-year senior. And we talked to the coaches. This year just finally clicked for him. You know, he kind of really, truly dedicated himself. He sees, obviously, the athleticism he has, really dedicated himself to his craft, having a great year.
Daggy, the fake, and then left side and trying to find Redding. A little too much on that left side. Trayvon Mathis on the coverage.
That's a good matchup we have going here tonight. T.O. Redding, Trayvon Mathis, the best cover guy Toledo has here. And you see Toledo getting a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. And that's a Daney off the side. He's, in my opinion, their best defensive player. Good leverage, good fast get off the ball from that defensive end position.
A week ago, Daney had 10 tackles. He's outstanding. Physical size. He has that speed. Josh Cleveland in the backfield in 3rd and 6. Daggy, look at the pass, feeling the pressure, staying in the pocket. Trying to escape, and he's taken down. That's a sack. Toledo bringing the pressure, and it's Marquise Moore taking him down.
And Marquise Moore just walked the center right back into the lap of the quarterback. That's a tremendous job. Just raw brute force.
Loss of 8 yards.
I've seen these defensive linemen. Just tries a little swim move and then just gets the inside hands and just drives those legs back in the quarterback.
And Rocky, you and I have talked about this. It brings an interesting scenario now. They're going into the wind in this second quarter, so the idea of kicking a field goal, that's out the door.
Absolutely. There's no way you attempt a field goal here.
And you lose 8 yards, too. You're taken down to the 34. That would have brought on a 51-yard attempt, not in these conditions where the wind is circling around 15 miles per hour.
It will run 30 seconds.
So we're going to have a timeout here on 4th down. Mike Jinks wants to think about it, and we'll see how Bowling Green Special Teams responds here coming up after this. Welcome back here to Bowling Green as Logan Woodside set to take the offense here for Toledo. The Rockets, the last time we've seen them, they moved the ball 95 yards, the majority of it on the ground. When you have the most talented quarterback in the MAC, that's a surprise, but we'll see how this plays out. Is Woodside ready to go? And it looks like, wait a second, they've changed their mind on that timeout. Jinx deciding we are not going to go punt the football into the wind. We're going to go for it on 4th and 13. What do you think of this decision?
I don't necessarily agree with this call here, especially right now being 4th and 13. It was 4th and 5, 4th and 6 maybe, but I mean, right now, if you are going to go for it, you got to think their best option top of the screen, Theo Redding, one-on-one.
You got 2 freshmen in the backfield, true freshmen, and Claire and Daggy. Daggy going deep. Isolation one-on-one. Is that a touchdown catch? No. Intended for Datron Guyton and Kadar Holman on the coverage.
And Datron Guyton, 6'5", so you know you like where they went with the ball.
Got that one-on-one matchup.
He gave Guyton a chance there. I mean, it was good coverage by the defensive back Holman, especially on a very tall wide receiver.
So here comes the Rockets offense. Let's take a look, by the way. We brought it up. I want to see your rankings here. You have the chance now to show us what you went with your college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, we'll get a chance to take a look at them here in a bit. But again, just a few discrepancies.
Woodside going to the ground again. It's Art Tompkins. They'll get the carry. They have been consistent on the ground.
York Top had a fumble last week on that opening drive for Toledo. Certainly a very productive player, good, kind of a slasher. He also is a good receiver out of the backfield as well.
Second down and 7. Woodside across the middle. Dropped. Looking for his big man, Jordan Fisher. The target was there. It looked like it was in a...
Yeah, target was there, and you finally got the inside pressure from Bowling Green. Again, they watched that tape last week. They saw where Ohio, and this exact same blitz. Cross dog stunt by the linebackers, but it doesn't quite get there. Offensive line did a good job holding up. Woodside a good job getting the ball in his hand. Just the receiver unable to come down with it.
First time we've seen this Rockets offense in a third down situation, 3rd and 7. Tompkins in the backfield with Woodside. Now in motion. Looking left. It's almost picked off.
Almost a belt, Kev. He almost had the takeaway belt.
Marcus Milton with that coverage.
He wanted that belt. Marcus Milton, how about him? He was a cornerback until this past August. They moved him to safety, and he's really played well. Good job stepping right in front of the wide receiver. Almost came down with that football.
Keep this in mind, too, with Woodside tonight. 108 consecutive attempts without an INT. Just 2 interceptions all season long. Trying to punt. It's on the ground. And a big mistake by Toledo. And Bowling Green will capitalize in great field position on the bad snap. Bailey Flint, the freshman from Australia, could not hold on off that bad snap.
Yeah, it's a bad snap at a bad part of the field here, Kevin. The Falcons are going to get the ball in great field position. Ball is just low. He tries to scoop it up, but there's a lot of Falcons there to bring him to the ground, get the ball back to the offense.
Brad Spellman, the snapper there, and that's going to be costly for the Rockets as we look at this Bowling Green offense in good shape.
Now we got to check the ruling on it. Do they get the takeaway belt?
No takeaway belt.
I don't think so, right?
No takeaway.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but you know someone's going to be trying to get the belt.
Trying to, yes. And Daggy, the freshman, in good situation right here. Going deep, laying it out. Touchdown, Andrew Clare.
Love the play call. Absolutely love it. The running back comes right up the gut there. You don't expect him as a linebacker to take it all the way north-south up the field. Tyler Tate certainly didn't expect it, and a great throw.
Perfect touch here for 24 yards to set up the Clare, who has soft hands.
Right, and again, that's a tough throw. He had to put some air, and he just dropped that thing right in the bucket. What a tremendous throw by the young freshman.
Tyler Tate on that coverage. That little hesitancy cost him as Clare making that touchdown catch.
Again, as a linebacker, you never expected it. Why is he coming out? Is he trying to block me? And gave a little stutter step, went north-south, and great catch.
And we are tied now. 14 apiece. Bowling Green knotting things up, and Daggy all smiles. The true freshman finding the other true freshman in the end zone. The future's bright for the Falcons. Feeling good right now.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Sonic's Car Hop Classic. Pair a foot-long coney or a cheeseburger with onion rings for $2.99.
It's been a long season for many of these seniors looking for their first home win, and it would be quite special on senior night. We are tied at 14 apiece. Bowling Green against Toledo to knock off the Rockets, who came in at 8-2. This crowd is feeling it in this rivalry game.
Good question about the Falcons came out. Look, you got to respect a team. They're 2-8 so far on the season. No hope of playoff or anything like that, but I think it's a testament to what Mike Jenks is building here at Bowling Green.
And you see the mixture here, the balance of seniors and the freshman stars in Clare and Daggy. Daggy brings that little Texas swagger. They're all rallying around that quarterback. The kick, Deontay Johnson. one of the best playmakers in the country will receive. And you see why he's one of the best. Highly touted young man from Florida, 9th in the country in catches, 4th in the country in all-purpose yards. I promised it. Rocky, let the country see your rankings.
Yeah, so again, just a few discrepancies for what the committee had last week. I have a little higher on Miami, and Clemson I think is just a little too high. I still have the remnants of that Syracuse loss in my head. Miami, I told you so. I was high on Miami a month ago.
Yes, you were.
No one was buying it. There we go. And then Oklahoma, look, I think that's the Big 12's only chance here. They've had a tremendous season so far, but if they get in that Big 12 title game, probably see TCU again. They don't win. I don't see how a scenario where another Big 12 team gets in there.
And we're talking about a conference that finally added the championship game. It cost them and hurt them in past playoffs. We're going to go deep here with Woodside, one-on-one to John Vay Johnson, and we got a flag and an interception. The return by the Falcons, Cam Jeffries. We'll see what this flag is. At the moment, though, you can bring out the takeaway belt. We'll see, though, if you have to put it back.
Pass interference, defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty, previous spot. 1st and 10.
And they're going to call this every time, Kevin. If the defender does not get his eyes back on the quarterback, he starts to turn around, but say if he's in that same position, but his head's turned back around, they're never going to throw that flag, and that's very unfortunate.
Fred Garth with the call there with the penalty.
And takes a big shot from an offensive lineman off the line here.
Down hard.
That's a tough one there because again you get the interception, you got the momentum, got the big touchdown. Now next first play you get an interception, but have to go back to the drawing board here.
So the Rockets and their offense stay on the field here. We've seen now 8 penalties in this game by both teams combined. Swanson with the carry, and he goes up the middle. That's a first down. This offense back in business, led by Terry Swanson, a pickup of 17 yards.
Yeah, and we didn't see him last drive, right? We're sitting there wondering why you don't have Terry Swanson out there. Number 2's been done a great job so far in this game. Didn't know if he was maybe injured. He's been dealing with that ankle, but they go to him here. He did what he's been doing all game.
A yard away from 100 on the night, and we are very early in the second quarter. First down for the Rockets from the 35. It's Swanson again, right side, another big pickup. Oh, the ball's loose, and it'll go out of bounds.
Wow, he got lucky there. But Swanson, watch how he just waits patiently behind the pulling lineman, just waits. A lesser back kind of tries to stick it up in there too long, a little giddy up, and then hits on the afterburners once he gets to the second level. Good job by Bowling Green punching that ball out there. That's
Brandon Harris, the playmaker here on the defensive side for the Falcons. That's what they do, force fumbles, number 1 in the country. Seymour in the backfield. 1st and 10, Seymour will get the carry right side, finding a hole. Taken out of bounds just shy of the first down.
Bowling Green again on their defensive line, they're starting to try some things. They're doing some line stunts, but so far this beat-up offensive line for Toledo is having their way with the Falcons.
Ground and pound, that's what we're seeing for the Rockets. Seymour once again in the backfield, 2nd and short. And we're going to see some laundry once again on the field.
Offside, defense, number 63. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
And just watch for some extracurriculars coming later here, because you can tell Kaysen, right, the lineman for Toledo, did not like the fact that Schwederman just kind of got up in his grill and shoved him around here. So we'll see if there's any remnants of this in the next couple plays. Look at that.
By the way, Kassem's the one that delivered a hit on Jeffries after the interception as well.
There you go.
That
You wonder if he's
front,
yeah.
They don't forget.
And we saw that. That's exactly right.
Seymour in the backfield. First and goal for the Rockets. He'll get the carry. Touchdown, Toledo. His third of the night. Shaquille Seymour. The big kid, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio. Put the Rockets with the lead once again, 21, make that 20-14 before the extra point.
And I love it. You know, as a defense, Bowling Green, the whole week, they're thinking of Logan Woodside. Oh, my God, what do we got to do to stop him? Such a prolific passer. And they come into this game, and now we're on their heels because bang, bang, bang. Toledo is just pounding that ball down the field with the run game.
Rocky, how does that play out for the defense, the wear and tear when a team is just at will running the football constantly?
I would much rather get lit up with a pass all game than just have that ball go down your throat. It's so demoralizing. Your body feels it more. There's just a certain component to it that just makes it so much tougher when they run the ball on you.
And the extra point. It's good. Shaquille Seymour. They give him the ball inside the red zone. What do you get? You get touchdowns. 4-play, 67-yard drive, and Seymour's third touchdown on the night. A hat trick for the freshman. Welcome back to Bowling Green, the battle for I-75, and it is the Toledo Rockets coming down 25 miles south and taking on the Bowling Green Falcons. They have a current lead at 21-14, led by their running backs. We thought coming into the night the story would be number 11, Logan Woodside, and what he's done is hand the football off to Swanson and Seymour, S&S.
And Swanson's been doing all the work with the yards, and Seymour's got 3 touchdowns. How about that? But that's a great 1-2 punch they have in the backfield. It's certainly going to do them well here going down the line or having that kind of balance.
Seymour is that closer while Swanson sets it up going down the field. 14th time in his career he's had 100 yards or more on the ground. And there's the kick. It's a touchback here, so we'll see how the freshman quarterback, Jared Dagey, responds once again. They've been playing this one since 1929. I cannot wait. Saturday night on ABC Prime Time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Number 11, USC hosting UCLA at the Coliseum, and it's the quarterbacks. Darnold versus Rosen, the victory bell once again on the line with the Trojans winning the last 2 meetings and looking to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. And one thing you notice about Darnold, all the hype with SC and the quarterback coming in after some losses, he is now quietly emerging once again in the conversation. He kind of
disappears a little bit. It's a very good point. Gets out of the spotlight a bit, and he's been producing big time in the last couple weeks.
Cleveland with the carry there, going to the right side, taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Now,
and
I've seen both those. I've seen both those quarterbacks this year in person, both Rosen and Darnold. Both just tremendous. I love how Rosen stands there in the pocket. He's not afraid to take a hit. They're not afraid to take one in the chops. But Darnold, if I had to say which one I would take, if I were, say, an NFL GM, I would take Darnold. His ability to extend plays, get outside the pocket, make things happen with his legs as well as with his arm, I think makes him truly special.
Of the Cleveland Browns,
there we
and
go.
That's the number you're calling,
Call
right?
me. I'll give him the right advice.
I imagine every scout in the NFL representing all 32 teams will be at that game to watch, of course, those 2 star quarterbacks. Little pickup to Datron Guyton. Kadar Holman there on the stop, bringing 3rd down for the Falcons. What have you seen from this freshman? The Texas swagger in the pocket doesn't look like he's ever rattled back there, no matter what the pressure is in Dagey.
He's not. You see a lot of freshmen, they haven't played a ton of football, so they get happy feet. They're too quick to kind of tuck it and run. He's not.
Pass on the outside, that'll be a 1st down to Guyton.
Yeah, a lot of the young guys you see, they're just, they don't know all the offense. They haven't been, they're not as experienced, obviously. So first read isn't there. They tuck it and run, or they get a little bit scared of that pressure. He's not. That thing comes right in his face. He stands in there strong.
Hand off to Cleveland. picking up a few yards. And we see Cleveland he's a senior as well, and he's been with the program for about a year and a half. Junior college transfer from Navarro College, Austin, Texas native. He's brought stability in that backfield.
He really has, and he's been very productive. I know Andrew Clare, he's kind of the young guy on the scene, but Cleveland has done a really good job getting some of those tough yards this year.
So Clare gets the fake, and across the middle, it's Dagey, and it's batted down. The tip from the Rockets defense.
Going common, the linebacker there, good job in the window. Dagey getting a hand up.
Another third down here for the Falcons. 8:15 to go in this first half. Bowling Green trailing by 7 at home. Look for their first home win this season.
Dagey's liked the fade route, bottom of your screen. Datron Guyton, remember, 6'5", nice big target.
Dagey has some time. Looks like he's just going to throw it away.
And I'll tell you what stopped that play, Kevin, is just nice aggressive man-to-man coverage by Toledo on the back end. They tried a little crossing route, but they got right up in the mug of those wide receivers. It disrupted the timing, affected that play, and now they're going to have to punt.
Well done by the Rockets secondary there. That's a coverage play for them. We haven't seen many of these tonight, and that is a punt. Punting into the wind is Joseph Davidson, one of the best punters you will find around the country. Low kick here. The perfect recipe into the wind, and it's going to take a Falcon bounce. Once again, it's Davidson at 6'7". That'll go 45 yards into the wind, and that's an accomplishment into that wind, kicking it low.
It shows the strength of the leg on Davidson.
6'7". You see the drive chart here for Toledo. Only one drive where you're like wondering what's going on, and the bad snap on the punt allowed the Falcons to score to tie the game up. But they've been a part of some long drives, with Woodside primarily handing the football off to Swanson and Seymour.
Yeah, look, and Logan Woodside, he has total command, total control of this offense. He sees the look in the box he likes. He's handing the ball off.
Swanson in the backfield. And he'll get the carry once again. You know, coming into this game, we talked about Woodside as one of those guys. 85 career touchdown passes, one away from sole possession in school history. When he's done, he will own the majority of the record books as a passer here with Toledo.
He really will, and what's amazing, he wasn't the starting quarterback. You go back a couple years ago, Phil Beasley took the job from him twice. And even with that happening, he's going to be the most prolific passer in Toledo history. It's amazing.
A year ago, he led the nation in passing touchdowns, and they'll go to the ground once again, led by Swanson, and that'll be another first down for the Rockets. Swanson, your bell cow. Last week, just 6 carries. Reason why he had to leave the game with an ankle injury in the second quarter, but he looks good right now.
There he is, Gradkowski.
He calls games there for Toledo and their radio, and 85 touchdowns, sharing that record with Logan Woodside, the 10-year NFL veteran.
Now you wonder, does Gradkowski like the fact they're running the ball so much, so maybe Woodside doesn't break the record tonight? I don't know.
Eventually that record's going to come down, right?
Either way, my man, that thing's going down. It's only a matter of time. You know, we talked to Bruce before the game. Cool guy. Played for my hometown Bengals for a couple seasons, but man, in college he was something else.
Playmaker, man, who he'd love to stay in the weightlifting room.
That's right. He still looks still hitting that weight room.
Swanson, patient runner, left side, and he'll get a first down, or at least close to it, depending on the spot.
You see how the patience he's running. You see that more and more. I firmly believe these young guys, high school, college, they're watching Le'Veon Bell in the league, right? And they're like, hey, if this guy's doing that patience, kind of stop and wait and wait and wait and then hit it, kind of run, maybe it'll work for me as well.
It's paid off for him tonight. Second in the MAC in 95 yards per game. And we have a man who's going to be walking off the field slowly, and that is Gus Schwieterman. Schwieterman, a fifth-year senior. You know he wants to finish this game on his home turf on senior night.
And that's not good because they're already not controlling the line of scrimmage. Toledo is running the football, and you get big number 63 out of there.
Schwederman's one of those guys, too. He walked in tonight carrying the takeaway belt. That was his at the start of the game. We got a timeout there on the field from the Falcons. So 6:01 here, a critical third down for Toledo. They have a 21-14 lead. We'll see what the Rockets offense can bring after this. You like offense? We got your game here. Maction continues in Bowling Green as the Toledo Rockets have a 21-14 lead, setting up for a 3rd and 1. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe they're going to run the football here, Rockets. You see the numbers so far.
Yeah, that's where they've made their bread and butter here tonight.
And Woodside coming in as one of the best passers in the country, just 6 in the air, 25 carries on the ground, led by Swanson. Terry Swanson already 132 yards on the ground, 40 shy of a career high.
Same linebackers creeping close to the line here, expecting run. Safety coming down the box as well. There's 4.
Swanson will get the carry. Moving those legs, and it looks like he'll get the first down, but we have a penalty, and it looks like in the place where you often see holding.
On the inside, yeah, it was a good job. Good read, bouncing that ball quickly to the outside.
The Rockets do a lot of great things. Jason Candles talked about this team when it comes to maintaining composure as well as how they move the football down the field. But the one thing that stands out, they commit a lot of penalties, and they were just 5 away from leading the entire country in the FBS when it came to penalties.
Yeah, that's never a statistic you want to be leading in. And it's odd, too, because you got Logan Woodside, very disciplined quarterback, but somewhere along the way here, they've gotten out of whack there on the offensive line, especially with some of the penalties.
So the holding will make it 3rd and 11 for the Rockets.
Showing pressure. Drop out.
5 wide receivers. Woodside has some time across the middle. He'll go to the right side for the completion. We'll see where they spot this ball on the connection to Johnson. That may be a chain gang here.
Looked to me it was going to be short where he caught it. I think they gave him a better spot than I probably would have given him. Well, they're going to
give him a first down.
They measured, huh?
Play was a completed catch for a first down. Previous play is under review.
Looked to me he caught, like when he had possession of that ball, he was right around the 35-yard line.
That first down marker is at the 36. So the officials will take a look under the hood.
Oh, Woodside, good job. They dropped 8 guys into coverage.
He had to come back for that ball. He was about a yard down past that first down marker, but coming back for that football. That's what a wide receiver, Deontay Johnson, does well.
Right. Give him a second look there. He might have had possession on the 36.
It's been a quiet night for Deontay Johnson coming in, of course. Outstanding in his last 3 games. 23 catches, 480 yards. 3rd in the MAC with 55 catches coming in.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed. The ball will be placed at the 35.5-yard line. It will be 4th down. The clock is right and will start on the referee's signal.
So that's one of those ones you start slowing it down. It can play, but my initial vision said looked like he was a little bit short. That caught it around the 35-yard line. Well, they went back and changed it.
We'll see what they decide here, because if it's at the 35.5, it is, 4th and 6 inches.
They're going to go for this here. Looks like it. All right, this is man-on-man. Hey,
are you okay with this call here in this field position?
I'm not at all. Not right here, especially you got the wind at your back. You can put that ball way downfield.
And they'll hand the ball to Swanson, and he stopped short. Nate Locke delivering the initial hit, and Bowling Green and the Falcons defense stepping up at the right time.
I disagree with that call. This area of the field, again, you got the wind at your back. You punt that ball get a good chance to down this thing inside the 15-yard line. And you go for it here.
Timeout for a measurement.
They're going to measure here, but what a hit by Nate Locke.
Yeah, Nate Locke's just a blue-collar dude back there at the linebacker spot. Had a big game versus Kent a couple weeks ago, 5 tackles for loss.
Fifth-year senior stepping up on senior night from Canton, Ohio. Very active player, by the way, and he's extremely bright. 4.0 GPA,
that?
and he's a pre-med.
Pre-med, yeah, 4.0 and pre-med.
So he hurts you with the hits, and then he can break down what happened.
And fix you back up, right? There it is.
Big stop by that Falcons defense, and we have not said that often tonight here, especially when Swanson's running the football.
Jason Cannell doesn't like the spot, but I disagree. I think that was a great job. They forced the running back to bounce a little bit, and Nate Locke came out. He didn't hesitate, brought the ball carrier to the ground, and what a tremendous swing of momentum. Like I say, you're that defense. You had the ball run on you all night. God, it ain't working out, coach. What are we doing here? You get a big stop on 4th down like that, get the ball back to your offense. That's something to build on.
Swanson's been outstanding all night long. This team is averaging 6 yards per rush, the Rockets. They couldn't get 6 inches.
And Rocket fans are hoping right now that that decision does not come back to bite them.
Here comes the true freshman, Jarrett Dagey. Andrew Clare, the other true freshman in the backfield. Dagey, look at the pass. Finding his guy, that's a first down for the Falcons. Janarvis Pugh with the catch. They're moving the chains, 12 yards.
And that's been one of the things about Toledo's defense. They've been solid, kind of bend, don't break, but they've not got a ton of pressure on the quarterback. Only 13 sacks, and you saw right there, Dagey had all day. He found the open wide receiver.
Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half. Clare with the ball up the middle, taken down, but he'll pick up about 7 yards.
What a great block by the H-back there. Hunter Folkstrom wound that thing back inside. You see big number 88 folding inside, leading the way.
And they're moving this offense. Clare once again in the backfield. Fake to him. Left side to the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. T.O. Redding.
And Kevin, this was a carbon copy of Theo Redding's touchdown catch last week versus Buffalo. Same part of the field and same sort of athleticism. Just goes up, gets the ball right up top. What an athlete, jumps out of the stadium, brings that ball down. But number 9.
And officials letting them play on that isolation there, and Redding's second touchdown of the night, 17 yards, and the extra point. It's good. And we're tied at 21 apiece. Redding, the 5th-year senior from Warren, Michigan.
How about Dagey? He fumbles the snap a little bit, has the presence of mind to keep his composure, and still finds his wide receiver one-on-one on the outside. That's a mismatch that Dagey will take all night long.
5th-year senior with the freshman celebrating right there.
Those are 2 guys getting it done for Bowling Green.
By the way, Redding is one of those guys. The country has seen him before.
Yeah.
He went viral a couple weeks ago against Kent State.
And what I said, this is versus Kent State, one-handed catch.
That's a catch on Sundays.
Yes, that's
And
big time.
It's not in the official books because of a holding call, but it gives you an idea of the talent that he has.
Good question, man.
And reminding our audience, too, he's got long legs. He jumped over the offensive coordinator, Kevin Kilmer, in practice. Kevin Kilmer's 5'11". Literally jumped over him. Kilmer was not expecting it.
And again, the amazing thing is this is his 5th year. Last year, he wasn't really on the radar, and he just kind of found his way this year, really dedicated himself. And you got to imagine, Kevin, that sort of athleticism and now the production, he's going to be on some NFL boards here.
There's the kick. Deontay Johnson fielding it, and he's taken down just inside the 25.
I mean, clearly all the energy in this stadium right now on the side of Bowling Green. They get the big 4th down stop. Couple plays later, the touchdown to tie it up. Now you run downfield on the kickoff.
Trevor Roop with the stop. That's another senior. So you're seeing the emotions coming in from the true freshmen in the backfield, and then the fifth-year seniors have been stepping up all night.
And that's huge, too, because, you know, this late in the season here, they're 2-8. More freshmen are getting opportunities. So, okay, we were still really a part of this team, but you're right, Kevin, it's senior night. The last time they're going to be on this field in their career, they're making a lot of plays.
Yeah, the two stars I mentioned, the fifth-year seniors, Nate Locke with that stop on 4th down, and T.O. Redding, that touchdown, his second one on this night. Swanson in the backfield. How will the Rockets respond? They'll go to the ground again, and that's more than 6 inches. How about moving the chains once again? A big run by Swanson.
And Kevin, this is unfortunate because they tried to run a run blitz here. We're going to bring the linebackers up the middle, but it was too late. They were too late on their stunt. You see 11 comes in there a little bit late. The defensive lineman slanted to the outside. It created too big of a gap.
25 yards, and Swanson once again on the ground.
If you're going to blitz, it's a cardinal sin to be late because you try to hold that disguise. I've been there. I get it, but you hold that thing too late there. It just allows those lanes to open up big, and a lot of times you can still just never even get to the quarterback, or in this case, get to the running back.
So after being stopped on 4th and 6 inches, 2 big runs by Swanson, they go back to him. The Rockets offense, once again, ground and pound. We're seeing that from a team that a week ago that was dominated in the second half by an Ohio Bobcat team that just, they dominated the line of scrimmage. Woodside has some time across the middle, finding the big tight end. Jordan Fisher holding on, 14 yards.
Another throw and another pass right on the money where Fisher doesn't have to break stride, doesn't have to bend down, doesn't have to reach up. It's just right there in his chest.
They'll go to the ground again. It's Swanson. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, just about a 1 yard pickup. Brandon Harris is there on the stop.
And Fisher's another weapon, the tight end position. You know, last year they had Michael Roberts, who went in, the 4th round of the Lions, was a nice, productive player for him, and Fisher filling some of that void.
2nd and 9 for the Rockets. Shaquille Seymour in the backfield. Already has 3 touchdowns for this Rockets offense. Looks like Woodside's changing the call here at the line. Seymour the carry, and he's stopped.
And that's huge, Kevin, because now it's 3rd and long, and now if you're Bowling Green, you can bring some pressure. And I think you do what worked last week with what Ohio was doing, worked a little bit earlier in the game. You bring those linebackers right up in the face of Logan Woodside. See if he can still complete that pass.
Konowalski and Jr. on the stop here, so it's a 3rd and long for the Rockets. Inside 2 minutes to go in this first half.
It's interesting. We've seen Bowling Green going with a 3 down lineman look, but now they're getting those linebackers up in those gaps to see if they blitz or drop out. They come.
Right side screen to Seymour. Makes 2 men miss at the 10-yard line. That's a good call right there.
It's a very good call because you saw the defense line up in the interior. They knew they were coming right up in the face. What do? You shoot it to the outside. You outflank them. That was a great job by Woodside. He knew it was coming. This isn't his first rodeo. He's seen about every look a defense has ever given him. Love that call.
On that pass, Woodside goes over 3,000 for the season. Talking about a guy knocking on the door of 10,000 in his great career. It's a handoff to Swanson. Pickup of about 3 yards. Stopped at the 8. Is this where we see Seymour? Like Swanson has dominated from the 20s, and then we bring in Seymour as our closer. 3 touchdowns on the night.
Getting all the glory with the touchdowns here.
Swanson in the backfield once again. Woodside going to pass. Has some time finding Swanson. Nice open field tackle. Montre Gregory with the stop.
Toledo is taking their second
Timeout on the field. 3rd and 5 for the Rockets. Find out how they will respond after this. "25 seconds to go in this first half, and here's the situation. It's 3rd and 5 for the Rockets in a tie game on the road at Bowling Green against their rivals. Jason Candle looking at his offense and his great quarterback, Logan Woodside.
I find Deontay Johnson if I'm Bowling Green, number three from the top of your screen.
You're seeing Bruce Gretkowski there on the call for Toledo radio. Woodside, touchdown pass, too high. Tied with Gretkowski with 85 touchdowns in his career. That would be a school record sole possession if Woodside would have connected to John Vay Johnson. Instead, too high for a guy who's accurate. It's a little surprising across the middle.
Throwing off the run there, that ball just sailed on him a bit coming out of the back of the end zone.
So they're going to go for the field goal, the first field goal attempt on the night, 24 yards out.
That's a win right now for Bowling Green to sustain that drive and force a field goal.
And it's good for Jamison Vest. 15th in the country in field goal percentage, connecting on 87% of his kicks. Gives the Rockets the lead once again. Fresh off their dominating win against Notre Dame.
Keep rubbing it in.
Hey, I could go with the other words here. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want to go thrashing, right? Number 3, Miami's home again at Hard Rock Stadium to take on Virginia with the Canes sights set on the college football playoff. Saturday at noon Eastern on ABC. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. And, of course, all the talk about the turnover chain. We saw that in full effect in prime time. 16 turnovers forced in the last 4 games. That's more than 73 FBS teams.
I just think it's amazing that you know, I think someone on the outside would say, it's a chain. What does that mean? But you got to give, I mean, just that little prop, right? A lot of credit for these guys. They want that thing. They want to claim that every time they come to the sideline. It's really invigorated that defense to go out and get those turnovers. I mean, that's the name of the game in football. You got to have turnovers on defense. You can't worry about this, you know, how many yards you give up. You give up 1 billion yards in college football anymore. Who cares about that? It's third down efficiency, it's red zone, and getting turnovers, and Miami is one of the best in the land at it.
And the energy on the sidelines after every turnover.
Wow, explodes. I mean, they can't wait to get that thing. Everyone's jumping up and down. It's fantastic.
Take a look at the MAC standings here, and listen, I think all of us were surprised at what we saw in Akron last night, especially with Ohio coming off the victory against Toledo to lose at Akron with a freshman quarterback, Cato Nelson, making his second start. And now you see here in the West Side, Toledo 5-1 record. They can clinch the division with a win tonight and next week, but right now they're in some trouble here against Bowling Green.
Yeah, this is not going the way they thought. I think a lot of Rocket fans thought they were going to waltz in this stadium, take care of business, and take it back up by 75. That's not the case here tonight, Kev.
No, we got a good one right now. Throw out the records, I mean it. 2 wins, it doesn't matter. Bowling Green, a rival of Toledo's, the battle of I-75, and Mike Jinks likes what he has seen from his squad so far tonight. They trail by only 3 points against the Rockets as Toledo will receive the second half kick. And we've seen a lot of ground game for the Rockets. Will that change in the second half?
I think we'll still see the ground game is still within just 3 points. But at some point, I think it's going to come down to quarterbacks, Kevin. Who can make that big play when they have to? Is it going to be Logan Woodside? Is it going to be Daggy? We'll find out here. We'll see what the halftime speech is. They'll make some adjustments and make it happen.
Senior night led by the true freshman, Jared Daggy. Halftime after this. Welcome back to the Battle of I-75. The 82nd meeting has lived up to the billing as Toledo has a 3-point lead, 24-21 over Bowling Green. The surprise really so much is the score, because when you look at the numbers, as Kevin Nagani and Rocky Boyman welcome you as we are minutes away from the second half, The numbers, no surprise, favor Toledo. We're talking about an offense that is ranked 11th in the country. It's how they're racking up the yards, and it's on the ground, 184
Toledo,
rushing yards.
Yeah, the most prolific passing attack in the MAC. They come out tonight just pounding away with the run. I mean, 19 first downs. They have 9 more minutes of time of possession, and it's a 3-point ball game. It's really come down to 2 plays that they've not been able to capitalize on, maybe some bad decisions. We'll go ahead and take a look at them. And for this was a major one here. They fumble the punt. Bowling Green gets the ball back, and they capitalize on it. Capitalizing off those turnovers. Andrew Clare with a touchdown pass. And then I thought this was a terrible decision at the time, and it turned out that way. They go for it on 4th down at the 35-yard line. Bowling Green's defense holds. And then from right there, Jared Dagey hitting Theo Redding down the sideline. And you could make an argument right now, Kevin, if it wasn't for those 2 plays, it's a 24-7 ball game, and Toledo is in total command.
And let's go back to that 4th and 6 inches. They gave the ball to Terry Swanson, and Terry Swanson's having a career night. 21 carries, 165 yards. He's 7 away from a career high. He's averaging 8 yards a carry. 8 yards a carry, and he's falling short here on that 4th down conversion. That just boggles the mind here. A big break for this Bowling Green team.
Yeah, you have to realize that you think that's what Jason Candle was thinking. Look, our guy can't be stopped here tonight. Our offensive line is pushing around Bowling Green's defensive line. Let's go ahead and pick this yard up, but you know, home crowd here, you don't get that. You get the momentum back to them, and they've taken advantage of it.
We'll see more from, of course, number 2 as the Rockets will get the ball first to start this second half with a 3-point lead. Action continues here this Wednesday night. Deontay Johnson. Good field position for the Rockets and still on the move, and he's just tripped up. And Logan Woodside will come out with this offense in good shape to start the second half. And it's been the story. Woodside handing the ball off to Swanson. Not once, not twice, but just dominating drives with number 2.
Yeah, and Terry Swanson about 21 carries already on the night. He's been the workhorse running back. Got to get a lot of credit to that banged-up offensive line as well, doing a good job. I think Bowling Green has got to have a plan. They got to bring some guys down that box. They can just not afford to get that ball just pounded down their throat again this half.
Swanson over 300 rushing yards in his career, 7th on the school's all-time list. He missed some action last week. The second half with an ankle injury. He's been the bell cow in this offense. In motion. Woodside, the handoff to Swanson. And that's another first down. The 20th first down for Toledo in this game.
Yeah, and you count the box. That's what Logan Woodside is doing. He's counting the box, and he's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Bowling Green defenders. We'll take that matchup, right? There's our offensive line. We've got a back that makes guys miss. There you go. Math equation. And Toledo's the beneficiary.
Another first down, Toledo, and you look at Swanson, he's gone over the 1,000-yard mark this season for him. Young man, the senior from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. A career high for him. He's going to add to that another first down up the middle. What are you seeing defensively from Bowling Green? Because that has been wide open up the gut.
Well, they're not adjusting, Kevin. At some point, you got to stunt your line. You got to pinch them. You got to take away some of those interior run gaps. You got to bring an extra guy down the box. You just cannot afford to let this happen. Right now, it sounds crazy, but you're saying, you got to say, look, let's see if Logan Woodside can beat us with the pass. Of course, that's one of the best things he does, but you just can't let the ball get run down your throat like this.
16 yards on that pickup now, 8 yards shy of 200. He's going to take a break, and here's Seymour, who already has 3 touchdowns on the night. He's another patient runner, a big back.
And look, they're bringing the safety down the box. He's number 4, Fred Garth. He's coming down, but he's coming down too late. Quit waiting back. Come down into that box there. You see him creeping up. There's number 4 off the left of your screen. Look, there's too much room there.
Is that too much respect? Is that just too much respect for Woodside and his arm?
I think that's certainly a part of it. But if you're a safety dropping down the box, that's your job. Come on down in. Don't go halfway. That's when problems happen.
Seymour once again in the backfield. 2nd and 5. He'll get the ball once again, left side, and going to the house. Touchdown! His 4th on the night. 23-yard touchdown. Shaquille Seymour, the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, came into the night with 6 touchdowns on the season. He's got 4 here early in the second half.
4 touchdowns on the night. Have a night, my man.
The closer doing it again, and Toledo once again, another drive where they dominate the front and they run the football consistently. The extra point, it's good. Extending that lead to 10 points. The Rockets, we were ready for the air attack. Instead, it's on the ground. Led by Shaquille Seymour's 4 touchdowns. More from Bowling Green after this. Shaquille Seymour, his 4th touchdown, the first Rocket to score 4 touchdowns in a game since Kareem Hunt.
Oh, how about
I'm sure
that?
Many around the country know that name, the star for the Chiefs, the rookie 3rd-round pick who had 5 touchdowns in a game in 2015. 4 plays, 55 yards, 2nd touchdown drive tonight where all the plays were on the ground. And here's the kick, Bowling Green, it's going to be a touchback. But once again, it's Seymour on the ground. You talked about some of the adjustments that were made on this touchdown. They still couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, I give Bowling Green credit when talking about how they need to do something different, slant some front, bring an extra guy inside in that box. They bring the cornerback, you'll see right there, Cameron Jeffries, number 18. They're going to slant him down inside, but the linebackers get caught up in the muck. You see they don't flow fast over the top. Shaquille Seymour makes one guy miss, house call. So they tried something, and I give them credit for that, but it didn't work out. Those linebackers didn't come across the ball onto that side. Didn't do a good job of that, and Seymour made him pay, as he's been doing all night.
Seymour, 218 pounds, and the guy who had his hands on him, Elijah Ballou, at 207 pounds, the linebacker could not bring him down. And now the Falcons offense comes out on the field, and they go to the ground with Josh Cleveland. And one of the things we were surprised about in that first half is we saw the opposite of what we expected. Toledo running the football, not passing it as much, and the Falcons going to the air more than the ground. And there's a pass right there by Dagey.
Yeah, and Andrew Clare especially, the freshman phenom running back, only 4 rushes for 24 yards in the first half, so not a lot of touches, but a lot of production. And remember, he got a 51-yard touchdown called back on the ground, so I would love to see them right now go to Andrew Clare some more here. It's still a 10-point ball game that you can still lean on that run game, get some more touches for your young freshman.
That home run touchdown taken back because of a holding call, but they would later score on that drive. T.O. Redding on a 57-yard touchdown catch. Oh, big hit, and down goes the true freshman, Jared Dagey. Willie Ross delivering the pain in the backfield.
What a great job on the line, son, Willie Ross. He takes a step upfield, he loops all the way back around in the right guard. John Kirsch does not see him until it's way too late. Bang. Untouched.
So the Falcons are going to have to punt the football here. It's their 2nd 3rd and out on the night. Kick by Joseph Davidson. And the return, Liam Allen. It's going to be really good field position for Toledo in their offense. 37-yard punt, 13 yards on the return. And again, we brought this up, kicking into the wind there. That is Bowling Green. 2 running backs, really the story here for the Rockets as we started the night raving about, with good reason, Logan Woodside's talents, but Swanson and Seymour, they have dominated on the ground as Swanson just 8 yards away from the 200 mark.
Can we give my man Swanson a touchdown, though? He's doing all the work between the 20s. They bring in Seymour. He's got 4 touchdowns.
And we joked about this off the air. It is a fantasy football nightmare where you see the bell cow rack up the yards and the closer coming in and he gets those touchdowns. Woodside going deep, has the one-on-one matchup. Touchdown! Jon'Vea Johnson. And that touchdown pass gives him 86 in his great career. Sole possession of the school record, 45 yards in the air.
And that's what a dominant run game can do. You pound one. There's Bruce Gradkowski getting his record broken right now. He's probably having mixed feelings about that. He throws it down.
Bruce was waiting for that, by the way.
Yeah,
all
we
night
talked
long.
to him. Yeah, that's funny.
Gradkowski shared that record, and now it's gone. It belongs to Logan Woodside. 86 career touchdown passes. Two touchdowns in 118, and it was close, and just like that, the Rockets are rolling. Led by Logan Woodside to John Bay Johnson. The Rockets feeling good, led by number 11.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Allstate, official protector of college football fans, and Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, the part of parenting that's impossible to mess up.
We got a fun one at the Doit right now. As the Toledo Rockets, it was only a matter of time before their offense would open things up in the air, led by their star quarterback, Logan Woodside. His 21st touchdown of the season, all smiles from the senior from Frankfort, Kentucky. Leads the MAC in passing yards, efficiency, and total offense. That running game setting up the passing game to John Bay Johnson, 45 yards. And just like that, Rocky, it's now 38-21.
Yeah, halftime, you know, it's a 3-point game. Bowling Green goes in, they got the momentum, and you're right, just like that, Toledo does really what they've been doing all season. That's just putting up prolific offensive numbers.
Coming in 11th in the country in total offense, and there's the kick. Matthew Wilcox from the 1. The freshman will take it just past the 20-yard line. 4 of Toledo's 5 touchdown drives in 3 minutes or less, and the quick strike. The accuracy, you raved about this young man. We saw it in full form.
Yeah, you just see it time and time again. The ball is just always right on the money when Woodside throws it. The receiver doesn't have to stop. He doesn't have to stutter a little bit. Doesn't have to reach up. You get those wide receivers in stride, they will love you to the day they die, right? They don't have to work too hard and try to do too much out there. And he's just getting it done. We talked about how the 5th year in this system. He knows, he's seen every defense, he's seen every coverage, he knows all the routes, and he just does it with a tremendous amount of precision.
Led the country in passing touchdowns a year ago. Nice catch there from the freshman Andrew Clare. That could have been a disaster for the Falcons, but the soft hands from the 18-year-old from St. Louis, Missouri. 29 yards on that connection.
That's the game of football, right? Get the ball in the hands of your best playmakers. Whether it's through the run, through the pass, great job of finding a way to haul that ball down. And that's what you get. Getting the ball in the hands of an explosive guy like him will pick up some yards. Let's say go back to him.
We're expecting a ton of touches tonight. The most touches for this young man, Claire, about 20 to 25. Have not seen or at least mentioned his name often in the offense. We'll see if they go to him once again. Daggy. Across the middle, incomplete.
I've been watching that matchup all night right there. Trayvon Mathis, a cornerback, does a good job on that slant. Got perfect relationship, great phase with the wide receiver.
Now back to Claire, you know, he's a guy that wanted to play immediately, had a handful of other offers, had the chance to play at Iowa to play defensive back, and then a couple programs told him, hey, you can come on board, you're going to have to redshirt. He's like, I want to play, and we're seeing him get some touches. Left side, the carry there, pick up about 3 yards.
Yeah, isn't that great, right? He doesn't want to sit out. Some of those guys, you know, go to college, get the college experience, work out a little bit. No, I want to play, and I want to play right now.
Came into the game 1,054 all-purpose yards, 3rd among freshmen in the country. His first start was just a week ago against Buffalo. 8 touches on the night. I'm with you, Rocky. You want to come back in this game down by 17, find a way to get 32 the football.
Yeah, get it in the hands. You watch him on tape, and more times than not, he makes the first guy miss, right? That's the mark of a great back.
Daggy to pass, feeling the pressure in the pocket. And that's a completion. First down for the Falcons. Datron Guyton on the receiving end.
With all the attention that Tio Redding's getting, and with good reason there, Datron Guyton having a productive night as well.
Third catch of the night is 21 yards. And the Falcons offense on the move. Daigie, though, he's just so calm. His presence, when you look at this guy, you're like, this is a true freshman. And he gathers himself and he finds a touchdown to Scott Miller. A wide open Scott Miller. 27 yards. Maybe that was part of the plan. Fumble, stun the defense, and have Miller go there wide open in the corner.
I really think the linebacker, did Arlo Blue, saw that ball on the ground and, and kind of hesitated a bit. I think what the story was, he paused and just allowed the wide receiver. You got to keep playing that play. You can't watch the ball float around on the ground.
Miller's 4th touchdown of the season. And again, back to Daigie. Fumbles the ball, recovers, and it just looks like he's just so calm. No sweat, turns it around immediately.
You're right. How many times you see that the ball gets fumbled around, the quarterback starts panicking, right, scrambling, kicks the ball, calmly goes down, picks the ball up off the turf. There, he still knows where his wide receiver is, rolls out perfectly thrown ball down the sideline. Scott Miller, Bowling Green answers.
Bowling Green responds, make it a 10-point game, and there's the young man, Jared Daigie, the true freshman from Lubbock, Texas, bringing that Texas swagger here to Bowling Green. We've seen this kid tonight. He is not fazed, aware of the system. He's followed this system since he was 5 years old.
That's right, yeah, not panicking, ball's on the ground a few times, just calmly picks it up, knows where he's at in the offense, knows where his receivers are. He's impressed. Mike Jinks, remember, he told us yesterday, I want to see if it's real or not. He had a great performance last week. Can he duplicate it so far tonight, Kevin? He's doing a great job, maybe even better than last week.
Short kick there, and Deontay Johnson, he'll slip there inside the 30. And we just saw Seth Daigie, and that is the older brother to Jared Daigie, a guy who's familiar about slinging the rock around this system. He played at Texas Tech in 2012.
Yeah, great career at Texas Tech. Had a couple years as well in the CFL. He knows about this air raid scheme. I'm sure he's given a lot of pointers to his baby brother there. And I love what the coaches told us here today. They said, look, he kind of takes, like any brother, right? You're always harder on him. So if Jared misses a pass and he's even just a little bit off, he loses his mind, right? What's he doing? And he's like, Coach, he just made a little mistake there. Calm down.
Sons of a coach, of course, and then that big brother love.
Yeah, big brothers might be even harder than sons of coaches, right?
Yeah, as a younger brother, I'm fully aware of big brother, right? Art Tompkins in the backfield for the Rockets. Let's see how they respond. They go to the ground game once again. No surprise, a pickup of a couple yards. Jared Daigie coming in as an early enrollee. We brought this up. His only offer was Bowling Green. When I bring up only offer in the FBS, because they were fully aware of that connection that the brotherhood had here, the Daigies, with Bowling Green.
Right, and part of it too was, as the coaches explained to us, he's from Lubbock, Texas, way out in West Texas, so you don't, it's a little bit harder to get to. It's not an easy trip for recruiters to go in, so they kind of stayed away a little bit. I think they knew about his potential, didn't see him enough in person, and right now Bowling Green is the total beneficiary of that.
Mike Jinks, of course, coming from Texas Tech, and first high school coach, by the way. His first year at Steele High School, he led them to a national championship 11 years ago. You see the Rockets go to the air, and Darrell Richards completion there. That's a first down.
So you wonder, Kevin, is Logan Woodside saying there, okay, boy, you want to see some quarterback play? Everyone's talking about Jared Daigie, right? Let me show you who the man is out here, right? Let me get going a little bit. How about that throw? Nice little back shoulder to Richards.
23 yards on that connection. They'll go back to the ground. It's Tompkins, the third back in that backfield with the Rockets. I mean, they got a ton of balance and depth here with Swanson, who's now over 1,000 yards on the season, and Seymour with 4 touchdowns, and then you bring in Tompkins, who has nearly 500 yards on the season.
It's such a weapon when you can rotate those running backs, because the defense, they're not rotating guys, right? So as you get into the 3rd and 4th quarter, you keep bringing that fresh body in the running back. That's tough on a defense.
Tompkins, the sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1st and 10 here for the Rockets offense. Woodside, Tompkins, hesitation, left side, nice adjustment, and that'll go for 5 yards. He's another one, too. We've seen it with Swanson and Seymour. Tompkins has that patient running style, deliberate. Yeah. Watch the play develop before making the cut.
And with so much, zone running that Toledo does, you got to have those patient backs. You can't have a back that just wants to slam it up in there. They wait, and that was a good job of bringing that ball all the way back around the backside.
2nd and 5 for the Rockets offense. Woodside. Another handoff to Tompkins, pickup of a couple.
And in my playing days, I always found those zone running backs the hardest ones to go against, because they're patient, they wait, and as soon as there's a line, they're reading you. They're reading the linebacker, and the linebacker's waiting, running back's waiting, and as soon as that linebacker commits to a certain gap, boom, he bounces out to the outside, or he cuts it back across there. It's our true art, that zone running ability. These guys here at Toledo do a great job.
3rd and 4. For the Rockets, led by Woodside. Tompkins back in the backfield, flanking to the left side, in motion.
Somebody gonna cover him? There you go.
Woodside to Tompkins, and that'll be a 1st down. Pickup of 6.
Bowling Green's defense was standing around saying, no, you take him, no, you take him. Somebody better go cover the running back out of the backfield. They were late, and I think that created just enough separation for Woodside to get the ball to him.
And eventually the man who stopped him and took him was Aaron Banks. 26 1st downs for Toledo. Woodside at the 24. Look at the pass. Feeling that pressure in the pocket. He'll just throw it up. Out of bounds. Wise decision from the veteran quarterback. Kyle Jr. applying the pressure.
You have to get pressure on Logan Woodside. He's too good. You can't just let him sit back there and play 7-on-7, because he'll carve you up. He's been doing it for 2 straight seasons. That was a good job by Bowling Green, finding a way to affect him there. Now they got to find a way to come back and do it again.
And good luck forcing Woodside to make a bad decision. In his ratio, 21 touchdowns at just 2 picks. Handoff here to the right side. Little hesitation. Bowling Green is there with the stop, and it's Nate Locke.
That was maybe a little too much hesitation. We talked about that zone running ability, waiting for those blocks to develop. At some point, though, as that play starts to stretch out toward the sideline, you got to just make a decision and go with it. That was a good job by Bowling Green, just forcing that ball to the outside.
Back to Woodside and his decision-making. He's the only player in the FBS with 200 or more passes and just 2 picks.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you can't ask for anything more as an offensive coordinator. The number one thing is we've talked about, look at Miami, how they make their hay. They do it by getting turnovers. You don't turn the ball over, you got to give your team a chance.
Seymour in the backfield. Woodside to pass on 3rd and long across the middle, and that's a connection to his big tight end, Jordan Fisher, and another Rockets 1st down.
That was all Woodside there. And a little bit of pressure. Just heading there strong, surveyed his routes. He's going through his progressions, finds big number 85 in the middle of the field.
On a 3rd and 11, they convert with a 13-yard completion, and Seymour once again in the backfield. 4 touchdowns for Shaquille Seymour, the redshirt freshman. Can he add to that? They're going to go to the ground again. It's Seymour. Big back. 5'11", 218. I think they're being kind at 218.
Yeah, you're right. He looks a little bit bigger than that. Nice thick legs. those center of gravity like you like your running backs. Look at that lower body. It's hard to get your arms around that guy and tackle him.
So on a second down, and by the way, you look at Seymour, first player in the MAC with 4 rushing touchdowns this season.
Will he get 5, Kevin?
Special night so far. And we got plenty of time here still in the second half for this Rockets offense. Woodside, the keeper for number 11, trying to break it to the outside, and he stopped at the 5.
That's a nice little changeup. You don't see Logan Woodside doing that a ton, but just having that threat of that out there, being able to pick and choose the time for the quarterback to run, that just gives the defense one more thing to think about.
What do you think of his mobility?
I think it's decent. I think, could it be better? But look, when you have his kind of passing ability, you don't want him taking off and running all the time. You like the way he sits back in that pocket, goes through his reads, and finds open wide receivers. I don't have an issue with it in his play at all.
Seymour in the backfield, 3rd and 3. 2 tight ends set here, and Seymour, the keeper, powering in to the 1. Seymour is the one delivering the hits there to that secondary for Bowling Green. Aaron Banks on the stop, but he went backwards. He was on the receiving hit end of that.
He was running with some force here.
So a 1st and goal, and Seymour will stay in the backfield. He'll get the carry, dance and make one guy miss, but just at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Banks and Brandon Harris on the stop.
Illegal formation. Too many men in the backfield offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
Felt like too many men in orange in the backfield as well.
Yeah, it certainly
for
did.
the defense.
Tell you what, if I'm Toledo right now, I feel Bowling Green is concentrating their forces on the interior part of that line. I try something off tackle, something to the outside, outflank them.
And with that penalty here, Toledo is taking the lead on something they don't want to own.
No.
It's their 88th penalty this season, the most in FBS. Seymour the carry, and he'll be stopped at the 1. And he is a bruiser.
He gets up to speed quick, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And he wants the contact.
Yeah, he does.
Going no huddle here. Seymour once again, and he'll walk into the end zone for his 5th touchdown on the night. A career night for the freshman from Cleveland, Ohio, who came into the game with 6 touchdowns and now adds 5 more.
5 touchdowns on the night. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better in life than scoring a touchdown and to get 5 of them in one night.
Woo. And Rocky on 11 carries. That's highly efficient.
Look, Terry Swanson's dad is sitting around somewhere going, wait a minute, my son's doing a lot of work and he hasn't any touchdowns. Keep giving to Seymour.
Swanson with over 25 carries on the night, no touchdowns. And it's Seymour with 11 carries and 5 touchdowns. And the Rockets offense continues to roll. 45-28. We thought the 5 touchdowns were going to come from Logan Woodside. Think again. From 21, Shaquille Seymour. Welcome back to Bowling Green, Ohio. Kevin Nagani, Rocky Boyman with you as the Toledo Rockets have a 45-28 lead over the Falcons. And the storyline coming in, of course, Logan Woodside, what he could do in the air when he's leading one of the best offenses in the country. But the real storyline as the game played on is the running backs, Terry Swanson and Shaquille Seymour. Seymour punching it in for his 5th touchdown on the night.
Yeah, they've really done a good job just all day. I mean, from the get-go, right? Their first drive, they didn't throw the ball one time, just pounding away with it.
It's been a wild couple of days here in the MAC. It's MACtion, of course, on full tilt. We saw that last night with Akron upsetting Ohio at home with their freshman quarterback in Cato Nelson. An update on some of the other scores going on tonight. How about Northern Illinois getting that win 35-31 to get their 8th win of the season in the West, making things more interesting. And Miami of Ohio losing 27-24 to Eastern Michigan. Their chances of becoming bowl eligible went down the drain there at home.
Right, and then Toledo, remember, they still have the tiebreaker versus Northern Illinois, so even Northern Illinois getting that win tonight, they'll if Toledo keeps winning, they'll claim the West Division.
For Toledo, if they win out, as you mentioned, they got Bowling Green, of course, here right now with the lead, but Western Michigan next week, if they get the chance to win the division, it'll be the first time they'll go to the MAC title game on December 2nd in 13 years. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for this program, of course, and Jason Candle, what he's done in his second year, 18 wins and just 6 losses. Jarrett Dagey, the handoff. Josh Cleveland, and he'll just stumble, pick up about a yard.
Yeah, he tripped over his offensive lineman's foot there. He might have had a little more room to gain some yards. He stepped on the guard, John Kirk's right ankle there.
The one thing we noticed in that last drive, too, for the Rockets, 4 of their 5 previous scores were 3 minutes or less. This one was a deliberate drive, 14 plays, 72 yards, in 7 minutes and 47 seconds.
Slowed it down, burned some more of that clock. Absolutely.
The 2 true freshmen in the backfield, Andrew Clare, Dagey taken down. First time we've said his name tonight, Ola Adani. We were expecting a big, big night from him, and he's there with a sack.
As a defensive end, Kevin, the number one priority, the number one skill you've got to have is a get-off. You've got to be able to get off the ball, watch him get off the line of scrimmage. He's the first one. He beats everybody on his team. He beats the offensive tackle. Nice little dip, gets under, gets to the quarterback. I mean, 90% of rushing the passer is getting a great get-off, and Adani showed you how you do it.
And Adani, by the way, I mentioned it's the first time we mentioned him in the second half. Here's the punt. It's fielded. Danzel McKinley-Lewis. Good field position for Toledo. And now for tonight's What to Watch For, brought to you by Taco Bell. The MAC quarterbacks, of course, we know what Logan Woodside can do. I am so impressed by Cato Nelson. We called the game last week in his first start. And how about what he did against Ohio last night? 4 touchdowns, no picks.
It was incredible. You're right. We got to see his debut. You and I called that game, and like, oh, who's this guy? Terry Bowden's talking a lot about him. He came in, did some good things, some bad things, but then last night, wow, 322 yards, 4 touchdowns.
A week ago, Ohio dominated the second half against Toledo, and then last night it was Akron dictating things, and it was Akron playing physical football in the second half against the Bobcats.
And that's their deal. The last couple of years, they've always been able to put up some good passing numbers. But when it comes down to some of that grittiness you need late in the season, running the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage, they haven't had it. But last night, that was a different kind of team we're seeing out of Terry Bowden.
So a block in the back by Bowling Green, which you don't really often see when the team is kicking the football. Gives the Rockets fantastic field position.
Offense. 12 men came in from the huddle and were in formation. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So more laundry on the football field and another penalty on
some
Toledo.
Football. Let's go.
As they extend their lead in the FBS, 89th penalty of the season. 9 possessions for the Rockets tonight, Rocky. 7 scoring drives. I mean, efficiency, yeah, we understand that this is no doubt one of the best offenses in the country, but they have been deliberate and dominant on the ground. That's the big surprise here. Swanson in the backfield. He'll go for the pass. Woodside going deep. One-on-one matchup, and it's caught. Touchdown! Deontay Johnson. There's your big play. 41 yards for the score.
And Kevin, that was one of those no, yes, because it was a double move by Deontay Johnson. Cameron Jeffries, the cornerback, was not fooled one bit by the double move. And I don't think Woodside should have thrown that ball, except when you have that kind of accuracy, puts it right out there on the fingertips. Could not have been more perfect, and what a haul in by Deontay Johnson.
Beautiful ball in the air. Johnson with the concentration with his fingertips. 9th in the country in touchdown catches. That's his 10th touchdown on this season. And for the Rockets, this third quarter all about Toledo, their 4th touchdown, and Woodside his 87th career touchdown pass.
Totally taking control of this game. Look at this catch here. I mean, defensive back's in good position. It's just right there out on the fingertips for Deontay Johnson.
Only a matter of time for this young man, Deontay Johnson. The sophomore from Ruskin, Florida. Safe to say, he is a superstar.
He really is. And remember, coming into the season, there wasn't a ton expected of him. Cody Thompson was the main guy. Cody Thompson was the MAC leaders in receiving. He gets hurt versus Eastern Michigan. But look, it's only a matter of time. You got to get that guy with this sort of skill on the football field, right? You see him returning kicks early in the season and now very much involved, the go-to weapon for Logan Woodside, and with good reason.
4th in the country in all-purpose yards. The man could do it all, and we just saw it there. Big plays, and you know, Mike Jinks talked about that. We cannot have the big play. It was only a matter of time here. When you set up the run here, then you can get some big plays down the field led by Woodside.
And the thing about Deontay Johnson, too, you watch him on tape as we did come into this game, he catches everything. You know, how fast does he run, his leaping ability. Wide receiver, number one thing, you got to be able to catch the ball when it's there. And number 3 does it well.
52-28, our score right now. The Rockets, I mean, we started this third quarter, it was 24-21. Since then, the Rockets have opened things up. 4 touchdowns in this quarter. Inside a minute to go in the third, and what can we expect here from Daigie? Are you thinking now they just got to throw the football around and play catch-up?
Yeah, I mean, look, I still think you try to find a way to get Andrew Clare out of the backfield. I mean, he's not even in right now, but somehow it's got to be a lot of Clare. It's got to be a lot of T.O. Redding, Scott Miller.
Cleveland on the carry. Fresh off their impressive win against Notre Dame.
Much kinder. Who's our producer? Our producer keeps bringing this promo up solely so you can just get teed up, my friend.
Number 3, Miami is home again at Hard Rock Stadium to take on Virginia. The Canes' sights set on the college football playoff Saturday at noon Eastern on ABC. I'll be in the studio for ABC there with Mac Brown and Booger McFarland.
Yeah.
You can catch us streaming live on the ESPN app as well. They just keep on handing me that promo, partner.
I tell you, our producer, Eric Posner, I think you paid him off before the game to keep getting that thing in there so you can just grin over there, right?
By the way, let's go back to that game. This could be a cathartic moment for you as well. This fourth quarter, is I pick your brain about what you saw, especially in that first half.
That's the end of the quarter.
You know, and there was a lot of offense from the U, a lot of offense from the Toledo Rockets in the third quarter. Complete domination on the ground and in the air, and they're in control right now. The battle of I-75. Fourth quarter coming up after this. So far this second half, it's all Toledo all the time, even with the tuba race.
I thought Toledo's offense was exciting. The tuba race takes the cake. Look at this. They're even winning that matchup.
They continue to score and find the end zone regardless of the situation, as their defense is there, and Andrew Clare, the freshman running back for Bowling Green, trying to move the football on third down. He'll get a first down here. And you know, this battle of I-75, it's a close one when you look at the series. But right now, in the series the last 7 times, it's been the dominate Rockets so far, just keeping that trophy and taking it home with them. And they're well on their way as they have a 24-point lead. Oh, a little trickeration. Daigie taken down. And now we have a flag as well. Lucas Maynard was not fooled. See what the call is.
Personal foul. Number 17 on the defense. 15 yards previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Big break for Bowling Green. Tyler Tafe whistled for the foul.
That's a huge break.
Got to open up the playbook when you're down by 24. Maynard, though, does a phenomenal job.
I see what happened there. He hit the running back, Cleveland, late there in the back to cause a penalty.
Well, back to the I-75 here, this battle. Toledo's won the last 7. Bowling Green, though, still leads the series 39, 38, and 4. But the Rockets can tie things up tonight. They established the I-75 trophy in 2011, handed out in 2012. It's been in the Rockets' hands since it came out. On the ground, it's Cleveland once again. Schools 25 miles apart, and we've got players that know each other very well. We mentioned this before, Bowling Green, if one of these guys wants to go to the mall, they got to go to Toledo. So they're going into Rockets territory here.
That's right.
Daggy to Cleveland. He'll get a first down and much more. Hesitation, breaking out to the right side. This is what we expected at the start of the night, the running game for the Falcons.
Yeah, because we've seen the last couple weeks them, really doing a good job getting some balance with the run game. I thought they maybe went away from it a little too soon, maybe didn't lean on as much as I certainly thought they should have. You see Josh Cleveland getting it done on the ground. There's a 21-yard rush there.
His longest of the night. We'll see if they continue. Daggy throwing the pass to his big man across the middle. Hunter Folkertsma holding it inside the 5-yard line.
Big loves Folkertsma, this area of the field. A couple touchdowns last week inside the red zone.
5th-year senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Final home game for him. Go to the ground again. It's Cleveland. He'll pick up a couple yards. Now, you brought this up, Rocky. Head coach Mike Jinks talked about, I want to see what we're going to get from Daggy, but also I think what they're trying to do is slow things down for this freshman and say, all right, you know what, let's just get a good drive together. Let's get something positive for this team.
Absolutely, and he's done a good job tonight. He's made some great throws. He's looked like an upperclassman, right? Hasn't panicked, hasn't really put the ball into harm's way a lot either, which you see sometimes freshmen, as they start to have success, they start trying to do too much. I know that was a worry of Mike Jinks. He hasn't done that here tonight. I think, look, the future is certainly very, very bright for Bowling Green. You got the #1 position you need, the quarterback. It looks like a lot of promise there, and I think they'll continue to recruit well, and they'll continue to get young guys on the field.
Daggy feeling the pressure here, taken down. And you see the frustration from Daggy. He knows he couldn't have taken a sack there. Willie Ross applying that heat.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest mistakes he's made tonight. He's played a pretty clean game, been smart with a football, but you can't take a sack in that situation.
That's just a kid trying to do too much, right?
Yeah, well, there was. And, we say he's done a good job of not doing that tonight, but here, look, we're here close to goal line. We need a score. We got to get back in there. Just waited a little bit too long.
Loss of 13, so they're going to go for the field goal here. And, Jinks had brought up when we sat down with him, needs to stay in himself, not too hard. Don't try the hard things. And Jake Suter, 32-yard field goal attempt. It's good. He'll remain perfect inside 40 yards on the season, 15 for 15. And the Falcons get on the board. 52-31 contest here, early parts of the 4th quarter. In Ohio, as the Toledo Rockets have a 3-touchdown lead over the Bowling Green Falcons. Inside 12 minutes to go in this contest. Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Kevin Agandi here with Rocky Boyman as the Falcons getting that field goal, set to kick off here to the Rockets. You see that young man, Jared Daggy. He's going to go through some ups and downs. taking that sack there, and I saw him on the sidelines talking to his older brother, Seth Dagey. Little lesson there.
Yeah.
Holding on to that football a little too long, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure Dagey's he's frustrated. He probably didn't want to hear that right about now, but it's something he'll learn. Young freshman.
Looked like the Falcons were going to go with the onside. Instead, they give the ball up in the air to Deontay Johnson, and another flag on the field. Now we got a scuffle on the sidelines towards the Toledo bench.
There's Bowling Green's got to get together here. Both teams got to get together.
This is the battle of I-75 bleeding out.
Yeah, Bowling Green, I'm sure, frustrated. They came in big underdogs in the game at halftime, and now the game's kind of got away from them. They got to find a way to control their emotions here.
Emotions running high. Senior night as well. For many, this could be their final game, playing in front of the home fans. They've had a busy night, these guys.
They've had. Lots of flags out on the field. They're trying to discuss who was the culprit, who hit who first.
So originally there was a flag, and then it seeped over into
a little melee closer to the Toledo
personal conversation for the holidays.
Sideline. Right.
Okay.
Well, we wish you could tell what he's saying and no microphone turned on there. Okay.
You could also say that maybe he's talking, he just lost his voice.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, it's been a very busy night for Greg here.
A lot of calls.
The Toledo offense will come back on the field, and there's a message here, of course, from the head coach Jason Candle saying, listen, big picture here. We're well on our way to getting our 9th win. Let's not lose our composure the rest of the way.
It's exactly right. Get the team back under control here, focus. Get back out on the field. I imagine we'll see a lot of runs and get back up by 75.
Candle and his team, again, they get a win here tonight and a win against Western Michigan. They clinch the West. Close the season out 7-1 in the conference, and that means they get the chance to play for the MAC title game and that championship. They haven't been to the MAC title game in 13 years. The game December 2nd on ESPN2 in Detroit.
During the return, there was an illegal block in the back. That penalty was enforced. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Multiple players on the return team, unsportsmanlike conduct, multiple players on the kicking team. Those fouls offset. It is 1st and 10.
So in the end, we'll go with the block in the back. That's the one thing that survived here. With no idea about the multiple players on the unsportsmanlike. Let's keep that in mind. If any of those multiple players, if those numbers were called out, if they get a second one,
that's true.
They're done for the game. So the Rockets offense back on the field from their own 12. Woodside going deep, the deep ball one-on-one matchup. Oh! Incomplete, intended for John Vay Johnson, and on the coverage is Robert Jackson. They've been playing this one since 1929. This is another rivalry. It's Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Number 11 USC hosting UCLA at the Coliseum. Darnold versus Rosen. NFL scouts keeping an eye on this one. The victory bell is once again on the line with the Trojans winning the last 2 meetings and looking to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Streaming live on the ESPN app.
Yeah, USC at number 11 here. I mean, ever since disappointing, well, here we go, long run.
On the ground, and it's Art Tompkins to the house. 88 yards on the ground. It's Toledo, and the Rockets continue to dominate with the rushing attack. Touchdown.
It's been all Toledo on the ground tonight. We've seen it since the start of the game. They didn't pass at all on their first drive. And just good job of blocking the running backs. Remember, they keep just rotating those guys in. We've seen Swanson, of course, we've seen Sharif Seymour and his 5 touchdowns. Now Art Tompkins gets in on the action.
363 yards on the ground. Is this a game as a linebacker, Rock, you just burn?
Have been in this situation. You look over the clock and you go, let's just get this thing over with. It's tough.
The Rockets, they continue to score. 59 points, that's a season high. More action after this.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And Sam Adams, fill your glass.
Rocket Man, yeah, we've seen a couple of those guys star on the field. The #1 offense in the MAC, 11th in the country. They have brought it, but they've brought it with the ground game here. Kevin Nagandi and Rocky Boyman, and these guys celebrating, watching just domination with the 3 running backs. Logan Woodside has been fantastic, but he will even admit the MVPs are the guys he's handing the ball off to, as the Rockets have 59 points, a season high. We still have plenty of time left here in this 4th quarter against Bowling Green. The kick, and Matthew Wilcox will receive. He's had a very busy night as a returner. Stopped at the 30 and taken down at the 32, and there's another flag. That is one storyline, and the other storyline, though, is, of course, how they're rushing the football.
During the return,
see Swanson,
holding.
Tompkins,
Number 80,
Seymour.
return team.
I mean, the one thing that stands out is yards per carry, but you can't ignore the touchdowns at the bottom. My man, Terry Swanson's got to get in the end zone.
He's had more rush yards than those other 2 combined, but he's got 0 touchdowns. And how about that? 363 rush yards on the night. And remember, Kevin, last week versus Ohio, just 53 on the night. You have to imagine that was a big point of emphasis for Toledo all week in practice. Hey, we got to get that ground game going. It's November, it's late, the weather's going to be bad. We've got to finish this thing out strong, capture this side of the division, and a running game has got to be a big part of it, and they sparked it tonight.
Art Tompkins, 88-yard touchdown to the house. It's the longest play for the Rockets tonight. Donovan Wilson in the backfield here. He's the 3rd back for the Falcons, getting the carry, his first carry of the night. Bowling Green, 31 points. That's a positive. It's that defense, though, unable to stop the Rockets at all, especially when you feel like they're containing the run. Suddenly, Logan Woodside will go deep, and he's had a couple of pretty passes. So 90 total points, tied for the most in this rivalry. Again, this is the 82nd meeting here between these 2 programs, separated by 25 miles. Daggy going deep, one-on-one, just a little too much. Intended for Scott Miller. Miller's the fastest guy on the team. He couldn't catch up.
I'll tell you what, just back to Toledo, though. If you're another team, a defense around the MAC, you're watching this game saying, man, we got to play against this offense. Not only do we got to worry about Logan Woodside lighting it up and completing passes, tremendous percentage that he does. Now we got to worry about this ground game. The things are clicking for Toledo at the right time here.
3rd and long here for Daggy. Back to pass, has some time. Wide open is Wilson. Whoa, Wilson going up in the air. The dangerous play. He pulls it off, but We're seeing more and more running backs do that. As a linebacker, how do you view that? That wasn't part of your game.
No, well, you're certainly seeing much more of that these days than you used to. But look, it makes sense with the emphasis on taking the head out of the game, right? Not going high. Targeting is a big-time point of emphasis, as it should be. Defenders are going lower more, so these running backs are saying, okay, I'll go ahead and try to take it to the air. And a lot of times, just like that one, they're going up even when the defender isn't going low, though.
So on a 4th and 3, and it's an incomplete. Nice play there. Broken up by Justin Clark. Turnover on downs for Bowling Green. We saw Donovan Wilson in this series. Let's explain a little bit. If you're wondering at home, where's Andrew Clare, where's Josh Cleveland? Donovan Wilson's a 5th-year senior. He's getting some time on the field. Daggy, the freshman, head down right now.
Home of the New Year's Six and the college football playoff.
Set you up perfectly here. Here's the latest rankings by the College Football Playoff Committee, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Alabama moving up to that #1 spot. Georgia a week ago, #1, dropping out of the top 6. And Rocky, when you see Clemson at 2, you got Miami at 3, Oklahoma at 4, and of course Wisconsin still alive, undefeated. We'll see what happens against Michigan this coming week.
I'll tell you what, I'm a bit worried about Alabama, to be honest. They've lost, what 4 linebackers on the season. Sean Dion Hamilton goes out last week. They lost Terrell Lewis and Christian Miller early in the season. It's not the time of year to be getting your playmaking linebackers hurt.
Tompkins with the carry there. There's also a new face in that backfield. That is Michael Julian. 6'5", 250-pound senior from Hilton Head Island. He will come in to relieve, of course, Logan Woodside. And Woodside's night is done. He was brilliant the majority of the time handing the ball off, but we saw him make a couple of big-time throws, and it's a running attack for the Toledo Rockets. It's been the storyline.
And that's the thing. If you can run the ball effectively, but when you got to pass, the ball is on the money like it was tonight, that's a fearsome offense.
Tompkins, that spin move, and he'll pick up about 4 yards there. Toledo in the second half, 5 possessions and 5 touchdowns.
That's getting it done.
Highly efficient.
Highly efficient, and I mean, give this team credit. They went into halftime. They're only up by 3. Bowling Green got the momentum back, and it looked like, hey, we're going to have a ball game here. Toledo came back out, made some adjustments, and just exploded this entire half.
Less than 4 minutes into the second half, 2 quick touchdowns, and just like that, that's what a veteran team can do here. Julian looking the pass on 3rd down, incomplete. Intended for Darrell Richards, another senior. So we'll see what Jason Candle will do as his team set up for their 9th win of the season. And Woodside with the headset on and named a Heisman contender by the Heisman Trophy Trust for the 2nd straight season. He's a win away. A win tonight, a win against Western Michigan, and he'll get the chance to play on the big stage for a MAC title. They're going to go for a field goal here, about 40 yards. Jamison Vest. It's no good. To the left there. It's his first miss from 40 or more this season. So a little surprise there. Maybe the only mistake by the Rockets in the second half. They still have a big lead here in Bowling Green. I'm watching my ESPN app, of course.
Of course.
Our very own Mark Jackson breaking down their nights of Lonzo versus Simmons and tells us which point guard he would rather start a team with. Plus, we'll look at some of the best moments from Simmons' rookie season, the early start. And Carson Wentz mic'd up behind the scenes with the NFL's top team, those Philadelphia Eagles. This is my kind of show. It's on SportsCenter with Neil and Stan, also available on the ESPN app. And we got a turnover. We haven't seen the turnover for Bowling Green, but now it's a turnover for Bowling Green's offense. An interception, and Daggy picked off by Samuel Womack. See some words for the young man there, the true freshman who's been taking it hard here in the second half. And that's the 5th-year senior, Ryan Hunter, pulling him to the side with some words.
Yeah, he's probably saying, look, I know you're frustrated. You came in this game. You had a lot of momentum. Things were looking good early on. Now, it's gone completely the other way. Maintain your composure, okay? Don't try to force the ball too much, and most important, don't get down on yourself here. He's got a bright future ahead of him.
First turnover of the game, and that'll bring on the Toledo Rockets offense. That's a keeper there on the ground. Mitchell Guadani with the carry. That's the third string quarterback here on the field. Guadani is 6'2", 200-pound sophomore from Hudson, Ohio. And he'll get a first down. Surprise, surprise, they go to the ground attack. Hand off to Brad Smith, the fourth running back here for Toledo tonight.
It's certainly been the theme tonight.
Smith, the senior from Clyde, Ohio. He'll get his first carry. Just his third carry on the season. They are close to 400 yards on the ground.
Unbelievable.
And again, we go back to what we saw last week, shut down by Ohio's defense.
Yeah, shut down.
The message sent by Jason Kendall to his team, we are going to punch back.
We're going to punch back, and also, too, they've had a lot of injuries on the offensive line, but who hasn't had injuries at this point in the season? I think he said, forget all that. We got to find a way to run the ball. If we want to go where we want to go and win this division, go and win the MAC championship, we got to be balanced. We got to run the ball. And they've set the standard here tonight.
See some Smith tackle there, not pleased on how he went down. A little join back and forth. I love rivalry games, and we got one here. The Battle of I-75 is Toledo. 613 yards of total offense in this game. For the 11th highest total offensive team in the country. Back to pass. That's a completion and a first down to Liam Allen.
Just wonder with, obviously this is going to be Logan Woodside's final season. Is it going to be, who's going to take over at quarterback here? Whoever it is has some big shoes to fill. No question about it.
And that's Guadani right now, the sophomore, with a completion to Liam Allen. Right side, the handoff to Brad Smith. I'm at that point. They're inside the 5. Let's bring back Terry Swanson on the field and give him the football.
Give him football.
Because 192 yards on the night, no touchdowns. Let him have one, right?
Let him have one. Come on. Or you could go ahead and bring Seymour back on the field, give him six touchdowns.
6 touchdowns coming in.
Wow, yeah.
5 touchdowns so far on the night. There's Seymour with his helmet on. You can put me in, Coach. I'm
put
ready.
Me in, man.
Yeah.
I can go back in from here. I'll take
you need a closer right inside the 10. Right now that closer looks to be Smith. And that's a touchdown. The senior from Clyde, Ohio, just 2 touches entering the game, and he gets a touchdown. Good for him. And Toledo, 65 points already a season high. They could add to that with the extra point.
Oh, look at that. Terry Swanson out there on the field to meet Brad Smith. Happy for him. That was cool.
You see how the whole bench is responding. They know that's a big deal for Brad Smith. That extra point is good. 66 points for the Rockets. Cool moment there. College football playoff rankings, the latest ones, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Again, we talked about Alabama being #1. I'm curious to see where your rankings stack up here, because the big question is, where do we go between 2, 3, and 4? We may all have the same teams, but where do they place there in the rankings?
Just different things I'm looking at. First of all, I look at what Miami did last week. But first, I mean, look, let's talk Clemson. The committee has them ranked number 2. I think that's a little high. Miami undefeated on the season. They just knock off Notre Dame. To me, that's worth a number 2 spot. And Oklahoma, they've had so many big wins this year, Kevin. If they don't win out, if they don't go ahead and beat, say, TCU in the Big 12 title game, I see them getting shut out, and that's problems. That'll be, ever since we've had this new college football playoff format, them not even getting a seat at the table. Should that happen again, that's not going to make Big 12 fans happy.
And we know the big reason why is they didn't have a conference championship game to determine a winner.
Right.
And now when you look at the way that conference championship is shaped up, they don't have divisions.
Right.
It's the top 2 teams.
Right, so in a way, that the conference championship game, which you say, okay, we'll go ahead and add one because that'll help us, that could hurt them.
That could hurt them this year, yes. Matthew Wilcox with a long run here for the freshman, and we got another flag on the field. By the way, we'll get to your profile picture there on that ranking in a second, because I want to know what year that was. All right, they've been playing this one since 1929, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Number 11, USC hosts the UCLA at the Coliseum. Darnold versus Rosen. The victory bell once again on the line. The Trojans winning the last 2 meetings and looking to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Streaming live on the ESPN app. So much history with these 2 programs on the West Coast. And SC quietly lurking there. When I say that, the pressure in the beginning of the season surrounding Darnold, the Heisman hype, and USC getting a couple losses. But quietly, if there's some chaos at the top, they can quietly inject themselves back in the conversation. CSC leading the series. They've won 12 of the last 16 meetings.
Yeah, you say to yourself, there's no way they can get in the playoff, but man, with as much, as you said, chaos that's happened just in the last 2 weeks, here's the thing to think about too, Kevin, when it comes to the Big 12. Let's say Oklahoma, they go and they play TCU in the Big 12 title game. They lose, okay? Then they get shut out. They're out. But then they're going to say, wait a minute, we beat Ohio State, and now Ohio State is maybe back in that conversation?
Which would be an incredible
There'd be a lot of Oklahoma
discussion,
fans,
right?
Man.
And there will be a lot of people ticked off, I think, just wondering, wait, I don't understand this here. Especially what Ohio State did at Iowa. Big throw, big catch right there down the sidelines. And that is Derek Pudabaum. Grant Loy is on the field, the redshirt freshman quarterback, 6'5", 219 pounds. And Pudabaum, really good concentration, pulling that down.
Yeah, Pudabaum's 6'5", was great position, great placement on the football as well.
So Jarrett Dagey, the true freshman, his night is done, and Loy will get some time. The keeper there will pick up some positive yards. But that's a fascinating discussion here, because and then let's throw Auburn here in the mix. Hypothetically,
I was just getting ready to talk about
Auburn beats Alabama in the Iron Bowl, but then loses to Georgia in the SEC championship. What are you doing? Are you potentially thinking maybe Georgia and Alabama still gets another shot?
I think so. If that game's close and it's not, no team gets blown out, I think so. I think there's a scenario you could get 2 SEC teams in, especially if the Big 12 kind of knocks itself out. Notre Dame is now not likely to take one of those slots. Here's another thing, too, bringing up Notre Dame, as I can get in my soapbox here.
Yes.
Being an alumni, I have always been, Kevin, an advocate of Notre Dame staying independent, right? I think you make your own schedule. It adds a certain element to you that makes you different from the rest of college football. But in this scenario now, with the college football playoff being a part of it, they're not going to get that being able to play for a conference championship that final weekend. They're going to be off, right? So you'd like to think if there was a conference championship game they could get into, that's one more time they could come back, win that thing, impress some of the committee, and get back in that thing. As it stands right now, no chance.
The one thing that benefited the Fighting Irish, if they would have won at Miami, is they had such a tough schedule. The way they handled USC, the way that you have Stanford always on the schedule consistently. You have a Miami team that's ranked in the top 10 at the time. I mean, if they would have won those games, and they lose to Georgia by only 1 point.
Right.
NC State there, a team that
Michigan State was a good win.
Physical style.
Yeah,
there.
right.
Here's another scenario I want to put out there, partner. When you look at Clemson, and the way Clemson's been playing, I know Kelly Bryant is back on the field, but they survived against Florida State. I mean, they could have been in serious trouble. Clemson matched up against Miami. That could be a play-in game.
Certainly
into
could
the
be.
playoffs.
Certainly could be. Clemson came into the season, as much as they kind of wanted to play it all, everyone knew they had a good team, right? And they showed out, but then they have the upset loss, the bad upset loss against Syracuse, as you just mentioned. Didn't look great versus a, let's call it what is, not a very good FSU team. So, I don't know. Again, the committee ranks them at 2. That's why I have them a little bit lower, but you're right. I mean, what a matchup that would be. Miami and Clemson for a possible play-in game. Ooh, wow.
And I got to tell you this. I will make sure the audience knows that for years I felt like I'd like to have an 18 playoff. Why not? Why not go 12 or even 16? This is the first year where I'm like, I like it at 4.
Yeah.
It's making sense. We've got some play-in games in November. And here in mid-November, we could have chaos the next 2 weeks.
And the thing it does, Kevin, is it makes those early out-of-conference games matter, right? And that's big. I mean, look, we at ESPN, we hype up Florida State, Alabama, right? This is a big matchup. Everyone's got to watch. Well, you make it too much of a – well, maybe we shouldn't watch those games if they don't matter. Now, as it stands right now, every game matters in college football. You make a must-see television, must-win experience week in, week out. It's what drives the ratings in this sport.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you what, every Tuesday night, I'm finding it where it is on ESPN.
Yeah, we were sitting last night, yeah.
Sandwiched in between those 2 fantastic college basketball games, the Champions Classic. And honestly, I was like, I'm not moving. I need to find out how these are. It has been a fantastic idea by the College Football Playoff Committee and what they've done. There's a touchdown there. Grant Lloyd, his first one on the night, second one on the season on the ground.
Field is of a touchdown. Given the score, there is no tries.
As the clock expires, in a game like this, 37 points, you thought, hey, you know what, you got a shot. Now when the other team puts up 66 points. For Toledo, they continue their run here, their domination in the I-75 battle. They've won 8 straight, and now the series is tied at 39, 39, and 4. And for the 6th time in 7 years, the Toledo Rockets will get to the 9-win mark as they control their fate. Jason Candle, a win against Western Michigan, they're going to have the chance to go to the MAC title game.
And look, they're going to go in that game a very powerful yet very balanced attack, right? The way they ran the football tonight, you got to figure they're hitting their stride at the right time. So things looking really good for Toledo. They bounced back after that loss last week to Ohio.
And Logan Woodside, of course, the man, the storyline coming in. You see some words there from Jason Candle to Jared Dagey. That's great there because the true freshman, he's got a bright future
he's
here
saying,
at Bowling
hang
Green.
in there, young man. You're going to have quite a career.
Quite a season so far for Logan Woodside and this Toledo Rockets team as they get their 9th win of the season, improving to 6-1 in the MAC, and they continue their domination in this rivalry. For Rocky Boyman and this outstanding crew here in Bowling Green, Ohio, and our crew in Orlando, Florida, I'm Kevin Nagandi saying so long, good night, and thank you for joining us for another great night of Maction football.